Yeah. So same shloka comes in the 5th chapter also. So there it is said that they are the 5 constituents of the universe. Now it is said that without Lord's anugraha, these 5 can't do anything. It's only by Lord's presence they can manifest, they can come together, they can create the universes, they can make the universe under operation. So all these things can be possible only by the presence of the Lord. So among them, Dravya acts like the Upadana Karana and Kala Karma Swabhava acts like the Nimitta Karana. Material cause and efficient cause. And both of them will manifest the entire universe and put the universe into operation.
Upadana means efficient.
Material cause. Nimitta Karana means efficient cause. Shloka, उधर slide देखो ना. एको नाणत्वमन्विच्छन् योगतल्पासमुत्थिता वीर्यं हिरण्मयं देवो मायया विसृजत्रिधा आदिदैवम् अताध्यात्मम् आदिभूतम् इति प्रभु.
The one Lord, desiring to become many, rose from his bed after the sleep of universal destruction and created the universe, shining brightly in 3 forms by his energy. The Lord created 3 forms: Adidevam, Adhyatmam, and Adibhutam.
Eko Nanottam Anvichan Yoga Talpa Samudita. The one Lord. Okay. Who is that one Lord now? Garbhodaksha Vishnu is sleeping in the Yoga Talpa because he came into the universe. He created water because he wanted to take rest. He went into the water and taking rest. Then, when it is the right time for further the creation, Eko Nanattam Anvichan, the one Lord wanted to become many within the universe, wanted to create other living entities. So then, Viryam Hiranmayam Devo Maya Vestujatrida. Then, later on in the 8th chapter of the next canto, 3rd canto, it will say that Garbhodaksha Vishnu will glance upon his own navel or his own abdomen. All the resting jivas, all the living entities who are resting inside his abdomen, and all the 24 elements who are resting in his abdomen, they come out in the form of a lotus. From his navel, it comes out as a lotus. Basically, first 24 elements come out of the lotus. Then he enters into that lotus as Paramatma, as its Paramatma known as Shiroksha Vishnu. Then Lord Brahma comes up to the top of the lotus and appears from the lotus. Then through Brahma, all other living entities will get manifest. So that thing, here it is graphically mentioned that the universal form manifests from his navel.
So that lotus where after it actually comes. So through that lotus, Paramatma.
Into that lotus, Paramatma enters. Garbhodaksha Vishnu only expands as Shirodaksha Vishnu enters into that lotus. Then Brahma appears on top of that lotus.
So then that lotus is not like an ordinary lotus.
That is, the lotus is made up of different material elements.
And Paramatma is actually.
And now Paramatma is there in that.
And the agglomeration of all the jivas are also there in that lotus.
Ah, yes. Everything is there.
That is as good as the Paramatma, Vishwarupa.
Not as good as, that is Visarga only. What I have said now, the lotus coming up, Paramatma entering into it, and Brahma appearing, that is mentioned 3rd canto. But here it is said that Viryam Hiranmayam Devo Maya Vistrujyatrida. The Hiranmaya Purusha comes out of his navel. Who is that Hiranmaya Purusha? He is called as universal form. The one Lord desiring to become many rose from his bed after the sleep of universal destruction and created the universe shining brightly in 3 forms by his energy. Created the universe. Universe means universal form. He created the universal form which is shining brightly in 3 forms by his energy. The universal form will consist of 3 divisions. What are the 3 divisions? Adi Daivam, made up of sense devatas. Adhyatmam, made up of the 14 subtle senses. And Adi Bhutam, made up of gross senses, made up of 10 elements. 5 gross elements and 5 tanmatras. So that is the universal form. How did the universal form arise? This verse explains. The one entity merging the jivas in himself at the time of previous destruction, at the end of previous Brahma's day, was situated as one. After that, after the completion of the night of Brahma, at the time of creation, early in the morning of Brahma's day, Garbhodaksha Vishnu desired variety. He then separated the jivas from himself. How? By manifesting Hiranmayam, by manifesting the universal form.
This verse itself actually clearly establishes the personal feature and it refutes the impersonalistic concept.
Why this verse? Every verse establishes that. In the Bhagavatam, every verse from the beginning to end establishes the same thing.
No, I think it refutes the impersonalistic Mayavadi philosophy.
Every verse refutes. Everywhere he is mentioned. Whole Bhagavatam is all about person only. Why only specifically this verse?
Why I was thinking is they actually say that Jiva and Paramatma, they are actually one.
Oh, according to that.
According to their school of thought. But here it clearly says that from the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, all the jivas are actually getting eliminated, which is in tune with the Upanishadic words, Eko, Nitya, Nityanam, Ketana.
Yes. Note down. From his bed of yoga, having slept at the time of destruction, representing Brahma's night, the spiritual Purusha then rose up in the morning at the time of creation. Having created the elements such as Mahatattva by his energy, he created by these elements the universe with its layers shining brightly with golden color. This is the great creation. The creation of the universal form situated in the shell, measuring 500 million yojanas, took place by the combination of Lord's energy with parts of elements such as Mahatattva. The Purusha then entered the shell of the universe, filled half of it with water emanating from himself, and placing the universal form within himself, went to sleep on the Garbhodaka ocean. This is like summary of what was discussed till now, from the beginning of the creation. After that, he rose from his bed and manifested the totality of the universe, golden in color, in 3 forms. What are the 3 forms? They are known as Adyaiva, Adhyatma, and Adbhuta. But similarly, the totality of Samishti, the totality of universal form or Samishti Virat will also become the lotus arising from the lad's navel. And this lotus stem will become the gross universal form known as Vairaja with 14 planetary systems. The Samishti Virat, which is mentioned in the previous text, said to be having 3 divisions: Adhyatma, Adideva, and Adbhuta. This is one way of explaining the universal form. But if you go into the actual details, the universal form itself manifests in 3 features, 3 different features, not these 3. These 3 are part of Vairaja. But in addition to that, there is another universal form called Hiranyagarbha. It will also become the subtle Hiranyagarbha, the form of the Brahma consisting of the totality of jivas. This is subtle universal form. Hiranyagarbha is subtle universal form. Vairaja is the gross universal form. It will also become the 4-headed Brahma who carries out the creation. Thus, Brahma has 3 forms.
What is Brahma?
Chaturmukha Brahma.
Then it also becomes the subtle Hiranyagarbha, the form of Brahma, consisting of totality of jivas.
Whatever appears from Garbhodaksha Vishnu is identified with Brahma. Hiranyagarbha is also called sometimes Brahma. The Vairaja is also called as sometimes Brahma. And Brahma is also called sometimes Vairaja, as sometimes as Hiranyagarbha. They are interchangeably used.
So then here the form of Brahma which is being used, that is not Chaturmukhi Brahma.
Third is Chaturmukhi Brahma. It will also become the 4-headed Brahma.
But before that, the form of Brahma consisting of totality of jivas, that Brahma is not the Chaturmukhi Brahma.
Okay. India is speaking in American Senate. Means what?
Prime Minister of India and the spokesperson of India is actually speaking.
When you say India is speaking, means Hiranyagarbha is speaking. But actually, who is speaking? The representative of Hiranyagarbha, who is known as Chaturmukha Brahma, is speaking. Is both are same or different? The Prime Minister from India and the person Prime Minister. Okay. Prime Minister of India represents entire India. When he speaks, it is said India is speaking. This is India's opinion. So, Prime Minister's opinion. Prime Minister's opinion because he is representing the entire India. His opinion is the opinion of the entire country. So like that. Ataikam purusham viryam trida vidyata tashrunu. But once again, so whatever information given in the last paragraph, this is the additional information. This is not what is being discussed now currently. Currently, what is discussed is about the universal form consisting of Adidaiva, Aditma, Adibhuta. But whom these three belong to? These three actually belongs to Vairaja only. But in addition to Vairaja, there is another aspect of universal form known as Hiranyagarbha. There is another aspect of universal form known as Brahma. If one says only Adidaiva, Aditma, Adibhutam only universal form, no, not like that. The universal form has a subtle aspect also. The universal form also has soul aspect. The Vairaja is like the grass body. Hiranyagarbha is like the subtle body. Chaturmukha Brahma is like the soul. Garbhodaksha Vishnu is like the super soul for the entire universe. It's like that. आज भी नींद आ रहा है? मुझे आ रहा है. Okay, read the translation. Read the translation.
Then the one shining Purusha divided into three forms. Please hear about this.
Ata ekam purusham viryam trida avidyata tatshrunu. So that one Purusha divided into three forms, like kindly listen now. These three forms, the universal form, Hiranyagarbha and four-headed Brahma, are different from Adidaiva, Adhyatma and Adibhuta. So now, the rest of the chapter talks about how Adidaiva, Adhyatma and Adibhuta are manifested and what they are going to do and why they are manifested. Such kind of details are mentioned now. Ata sharira akashat purvasya vicheshtata ojasaho balam jajne tata prano mahan asu.
From the ether within the body of the universal form, who was acting in various ways, arose the Shaktis of the senses, mind, and the body. And from them arose the best life air called Sutra.
Ata sharira akashat. From the universal form, first there appeared ether. Okay? Consisting of different Shaktis known as Oja, Saha and Balam. The first element manifested from the universal form is ether. Okay? That ether will consist of some Shaktis known as Oja, Saha, Balam. What is Oja? Oja means the Shakti of the senses. Saha means the Shakti of the mind. Balam means the Shakti of the body. These are regular terms we hear now. What is Balam? What is Sahas? Sahas are first time. Sahas kabhi suna nahi kya? Courage. Sahas. Telugu cinema is also there. Sahasam. Sahasam chehra dimbaga. वो कितना मूवीज है बचपन से बहुत सुना देखते हैं क्या इतना प्योर but sahasam we hear from childhood. What is that sahasam?
Previously when we said sahas, then I could not.
Sanskrit में short form में आता है जनरली. You need to expand into vernacular language, you can understand.
Okay.
In your mother tongue, it is called sahasam only.
Sahas हिंदी में बोलते हैं.
Sahasam साहस बोलते हैं ना. ये बहुत बड़ी साहस ही है. ऐसे नहीं बोलते. तो हिंदी में कैसे बोलते हैं?
बोलते कि उसमें बहुत साहस, मतलब ऐसे बोलते कि इतना साहस किया उसने.
Or much more in a normal usage, sahanshilata.
सहनशीलता is tolerance, not forbearance.
Tolerance only, but it comes from sahas only. Those people who have courage, they remains tolerant. Otherwise, people become agitated immediately. Both are interdependent actually. Otherwise, it is also called a dhairya.
Very,
Ussaha, nichaya,
very.
it is a word. And ojas is the strength of the senses.
Raji, last in the last 13th verse, he actually mentioned Brahma is like the Jiva and Garbhodaksha Vishnu is like the
Paramatma for the entire universe.
So that is one form of universal property,
Which
you actually was mentioning that in the 10th chapter there is one universal form. That is this universal form.
not one form, universal form. One aspect of the universal form. The universal form has multiple functions. So one function is delineated one time.
Here in this chapter, this is one aspect.
What is Chaupati temple? Chaupati temple is a place where people come together and chant Hare Krishna mantra. Chaupati temple is where people come together and hear Harikatha. Chaupati temple is where people perform Rathayatra. Chaupati temple is the temple where people distribute Bhagavad Gita books.
It's a temple where many authors sprouted.
These are different aspects of the temple. You cannot define Chaupati means in one word may define nahi kar sakte. But there are different aspects to it, so you have to tell them again and again and again. This is temple, this is like that. Some other like that. It's a big form, so it cannot be mentioned one way. So it is different functions have to be expressed in different ways. So first, ether manifested. From ether, there manifested the three energies known as Oja, Saha, and Balam. And then there appeared the main principal operating factor, Mahan Asu, Sutra Tattva. The prana, the Mukhya prana manifested. Mahan Asu means Mukhya prana. Oxygen, which is the sustaining principle of the entire universe.
Literally.
Literally.
For all the living entities in this universe, oxygen is.
No, may not be. They may not call oxygen, but some other name they might call. But oxygen, it is what we breathe is air. But in the air, which element you breathe?
Oxygen.
That is Mahanasu. That is called Mukhya Prana.
But for other living entity,
also,
it may be different. For demigod, it may be different. For Brahma.
But whatever sustains them, that is called Mukhya Prana. Whatever sustains all the living entities, that is called Mukhya Prana. Prana means pranas. Prana is nothing but air. Air has got multiple forms. Among them, the main air is Mukhya Prana. That is what we call as oxygen, sustaining life air. And from the elements point of view, from Mahatattva appears consciousness. From the second element, Sutra Tattva, appears Mukhya Prana. So without which one cannot live. We discussed once. In the deep sleep, only two things are active. One is consciousness, second one is breathing. If one of these two stops, we die. Either consciousness stops.
Consciousness stop kya?
Your life stop hoga na. Consciousness means your life. Symptom of awareness, symptom of existence. Your astitva.
Breathing stop. Consciousness stop.
Consciousness be stop hoga.
I'm trying to understand.
Okay, little bit extend this understanding. Somebody going to coma. Going to coma means what?
External consciousness is stopped.
Who said external consciousness stopped, internal consciousness is alive? What is the difference between external and internal?
He is not able to perceive anything which is happening like that.
Will he perceive anything happening inside?
No, I specifically told because For a person, if external and internal consciousness both are actually stopped, then we can actually say that he is clinically dead.
That's what I am saying. When consciousness stops, one is dead. So it cannot stop. It will remain alive, even in deep sleep. When we are active, all aspects of our body are active. The gross body is active, senses are active, mind is active, intelligence is active, ahankara is active, consciousness is active, everything is active. When you go to sleep in dream state, it's not proper sleep, but dream state. The gross body is inactive, the 10 senses are inactive, but the mind is active. The mind creates you different forms in the dream. Ahankara is active. In the dream, you think yourself as the king of the Mysore or king of Jaipur. ऐसा आता नहीं क्या?
Such kind of dreams doesn't come.
Otherwise, you will get a dream of being afraid of a tiger, a snake. क्या कौन सा ड्रीम आता है? अलग ही आता है. ओके, जो भी ड्रीम है, आपका ड्रीम में आप हीरो है क्या? आप हीरो ना?
He is doing worship of Gopinath.
इधर रहने का नहीं, ऊपर जाओ. आपका प्लेस ऊपर है, इधर नहीं. ऐसा ड्रीम आ रहा है मतलब you must be in puja room, not here. क्या हमारा नाम खराब कर रहे?
We are the center.
So there we are identified with a new body. Our ahankara is active. Our mind is active, trying to enjoy through the means of various bodies. But in deep sleep, the mind is also inactive, ahankara is also inactive. We forget who we really are. We forget that I am Ankit Das or Ankit Prabhu in Chowpatty temple, currently living as a aspirant brahmachari. That understanding is also gone in the deep sleep. But in the conscious, if the conscience is also sleeping, we forget that I am existing. The nature of consciousness is to say that our astitva, I am existing. That is the function of consciousness. In the dream, it says that I am existing as a king of Jaipur. In the waking state, it says that I am existing as the aspirant brahmachari in Chowpatty temple, known as Ankit. It's like that. But if consciousness is also sleeping, Hare Krishna. So, other than that, there is another thing, breathing. If breathing also stops, Hare Krishna. That's why the breathing goes on it. And it is Mukhya Prana. Sutra Tattva. From the ether within the body of the universal form, who was acting in various ways, Vicheshrata, arose the energies of the senses, the energies of the mind, the energies of the body, known as Oja Saha Balam. From the subtle form of these three energies, there arose the best life air, manifester of the life, called Sutra or Prana. Sutra and Prana both are analogous to each other. You can, or Asu. These are all different names of the same thing. Asu, Prana, or Sutra. Or here we are calling as Mukhya Prana or Mahanasu. Mukhya Prana or Mahanasu or Sutra Tattva. These three are same person only. Sutra is a portion of Mahatattva with a predominance of Rajoguna. Is it not part of Vayu? This is explained in the commentary of, it is not part of Vayu. It is explained in the commentary of 2524. Because later on, after ether, there will appear air. That air is different. The function of that air is touch sensation. The function of this prana is sustaining life. Though we are getting it through air only, but both are seen as differently. The Mukhya Prana is seen as a separate entity from regular air. The regular air, which carries fragrance from one place to other place, the regular air which gives us cold sensation or hot sensation or tornadoes, is seen as separate from the Mukhya Prana, the life-sustaining vital air. So it's like that. Because you cannot say one time Mukhya Prana is manifesting, other time normal air is manifesting if they are same. Because they are different, they are told to be separate. Because the Mukhya Prana appears along with Sutra Tattva after the appearance of Mahatattva. And air appears from sparsha tanmatra, from the touch tanmatra. Touch only air comes, na? But when touch appears for the transporting media, then air appears. It's like that. That's how they are different. Anuprananti yam prana pranantam sarva jantushu apanantam apananti naradevam ivanuga.
The senses become active, following after the action of sutra, and become inactive when the sutra becomes inactive, just as the servants follow a king.
Naradevam iva anaga, just like the servants follow the master. As long as prana is there within our body functions. If prana is not there, body stops function. That's why when a person dies, what we say? Unka pran chale gaye. Unka pran chale gaye. In Telugu we call pranam poyindi. Pranam vellipoyindi. So like that. We'll teach you Telugu. This shows the greatness of sutra by its power to manifest life. The senses perform actions following after the sutra, which performs actions. And they cease action when the sutra stops action. They are like servants of a king. As long as sutra is there within our body, when sutra says do, then the body performs that. Body means karmendriyas perform that. If sutra says no, they stop. If somebody is criticizing us, the prana says, ये ज्यादा कर रहे, कुछ बोलो और कुछ करो और कुछ जोर से देखो. That prana tells. Then the body reacts accordingly. The eyes become wide open and red. The hands come forward, fist come close. The mouth wide open, start speaking so many words. The legs walk fast and eventually kick. All these things will happen after the instructions of the sutra.
And sutra is a simple slave of falsehood.
No. Sutra is not slave. Actually, sutra is superior to ahankara. The Mukhya Prana is superior to ahankara.
Sutra comes from the falsehood.
That is prana. That is prana shakti. Of course, here both are used interchangeably. I'll tell you. There is in a hierarchy, there is consciousness first, from top to bottom. Next, there is sutra. Next, there is ahankara. Beneath ahankara, there is mind. Beneath mind, there are 10 pranas. And beneath 10 pranas, there are karmendriyas. And beneath karmendriya, the gross body.
Consciousness ke baad sutra.
Sutra. Mukhya prana. That is Mukhya prana. And after mind, there are 10 pranas. The general pranas. Actually, sometimes these two are used interchangeably also. That, but both are of same category only. Whether Mukhya prana is also made up of passion, and prana also appears in the passion only. Function wise, both are same, but their hierarchy wise, both are different. Both are located two different places. Sorry.
Which two are used?
The name is same, na? Tattva is called as Mukhya prana, and these 10 pranas are called as pranas. The mind gives order, the ego gives order to the mind. So ego tells, "Hey, karo mujhe mere liye." The mind tells, "Hey, prana, baas ke liye chahiye, karte raho." So it is prana which engages the karmendriyas in the activity. The 10 pranas engage in the activity, but pranas are external manifestation of Mukhya prana. There are 10 pranas which are the manifestation of the Mukhya prana, which is there much above, superior to ahankara. वही है ना, क्रिएशन वैसे हुआ ना. फर्स्ट महातत्व हुआ था, बाद में सूत्र तत्व हुआ था, बाद में अहंकार हुआ था, बाद में प्राणस. The 10 pranas are inside the body. They are only sustained. They are only sustained as long as we breathe in. When we breathe oxygen, breathing is superior to the 10 pranas inside the body. If you stop breathing, वो तो main है. After the consciousness, the main person is Sutra. उसके बिना नहीं जा सकते. किधर जाएगा? दूसरा बॉडी में चला जाएगा. Cattle body है ना वो. Only grass body will leave behind. That's what we discussed yesterday. What is the difference between grass body and cattle body? See, here functional point of view.
So prana
हाँ.
जो कैरियर ऑफ सोल है वो सटल एलिमेंट्स बोलते हैं इन जनरल.
हाँ.
तो सटल एलिमेंट्स को उठाने के लिए प्राण साथ में जाते हैं कि ऐसा मतलब
प्राण के साथ वो भी चला जाएगा. यहाँ पे प्राण है, सब लोग उसके साथ चला जाएगा.
तो फॉल्स ईगो को फॉलो करते हैं ऐसा कुछ है?
सब साथ में जाता है. जैसे कौन किसको फॉलो करता नहीं, सब साथ में रहकर काम करते हैं, सब साथ में जाते जाते समय. So like that. बट काम करते समय एक के अंदर दूसरा काम करते हैं सब. When king goes, the entire entourage goes. So like that. King is like the mukhya prana. All the entire entourage like ahankara, mind, intelligence, the 10 pranas, the karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, they are all like the attendants.
तो मुख्य प्राण को अगर कंट्रोल किया
हाँ. कौन?
कर सकते योगी लोग करते हैं. They must be
मुख्य प्राण का नहीं कंट्रोल थे. The 10 pranas which is there inside the body, they can control them. मुख्य prana we cannot control. There is breathing here, na? If you stop control that, you stop, you die. That is prana. There are 10 pranas which are the effect of the mukhya prana. Mukhya prana is oxygen like that to take. There are 10 pranas. Have you ever heard the concept of pranas? What are the pranas?
different life force.
Not names, Baba. What are the pranas?
There are different functions of the.
What are the functions?
एक digestion का होता है इसमें.
कौन बोला?
ऐसा सुना है.
और?
Major symptoms of the life of the.
हाँ?
All the functions in the body that takes place because of the
pranas.
5 major and the 5 secondary.
There is one prana which is above the nabi, which takes care of the breathing function. Breathing, which should happen always 24 hours. Whether you are awake or sleeping, breathing should go on. There is one prana below navel that takes care of the expulsion. Okay. There is one prana which balances both. Like that, there are 10 pranas which are there within the body. Prana moves forward and is the location in the nostril. Prana takes care of the breathing. Apana moves downward and is the location. Its location is anus. It takes care of the expulsion. Samana causes assimilation of food and drink, which are eaten and is located in the middle of the body. Samana takes care of the digestion, as you mentioned. Udana rises upward and is located in the throat. Udana rises upward, located in the throat. If something undigestible things are there in the body, it comes out in the form of belching. Vyana moves everywhere and is located in the whole body. Vyana, it is located all over the body. Naga causes expulsion. Kurma causes eyes to open. Krikara causes hunger. Devadatta causes yanning. बैठते बैठते yanning होता है. Dhananjaya causes nourishment. These are the activities of the 10 pranas. If one of the 10 pranas are not proper, that particular activity will not be proper. That's why pranayama people do perform. Those who perform pranayama, their health is good. Because when pranayama is performed, all these 10 pranas are properly activated. They perform their duties properly. The body functions properly. If you don't perform pranayama, the 10 pranas become lax in the respective places. They don't, either they malfunction or they sometimes they may overfunction. That causes the body and eventually disease will happen. Disease will come. So that's how the pranas are mentioned. But all the 10 pranas for their sustenance, they depend upon mukhya prana, oxygen. So like that. 10 pranas are in the body, which are performing the respective activity in cooperation with the karmendriyas and the body, and also jnanendriyas. But they are all sustained based on mukhya prana.
So if the quality of air is not there,
Hmm.
and despite we are doing the pranayama,
Hmm. Yeah, that is also. If good quality of air is not there, not sufficient amount of oxygen is not received, then 10 pranas become weak. And the person continuously getting affected to diseases. That's why people who live in the congested area, they fall sick very frequently. That's why you need to have open space. When you go on brahmachari yatras, go to open scenic places, there you feel rejuvenated, nourished. Even when you go hometown, also you feel nourished, rejuvenated. That is because of the more open space. So it's like that. That's why pranayama, these yoga centers are located in the scenic places, generally in the forest or mountain areas, so that they can perform yoga properly and the effect can be seen very soon. If the yoga, pranayama or yoga kind of things are performed in Mumbai city, you can't see the effects very quickly. They should be practiced outside. But something is better than nothing. Chalo. प्राणेना क्षिप्तक्षुत्रुत् अंतराजायते विभो पिपासतो जक्षितश्च प्राणमुखं निरभिद्यता.
Being stimulated by the sutra, hunger and thirst appeared within the universal form. He desired to drink and eat. First the mouth became thirsty.
First, through the eternal portion of the universal form, there appeared Saha Oja Balam and there appeared the Mukhya Prana. And Mukhya Prana is the activator of the senses and the body. But in order to activate the senses and body, they need some physical strength. Physical strength comes from Balam comes from eating, drinking. Na? If eating, then Balam kahan se aayega? So, but how can one eat? There should be mouth. Mouth ke bina kaise kha sakte? The first hunger and thirst manifested, then the mouth manifested. Okay, and mouth alone is not enough. Within the mouth, there should be talu. There should be a devata who will supervise the activity of the talu. Like that, one after the other, all manifest. But first, what appeared? Desire. Desire to eat appeared. As soon as the desire manifested, there appeared hunger and thirst. Then one cannot tolerate hunger and thirst. Then immediately, in order to facilitate the satisfaction of hunger and thirst, the mouth manifested. Mouth alone is not sufficient. Within mouth, there should be talu. Talu alone is not sufficient. There should be a manager who will supervise the activity properly happening or not daily 3 times or throughout the day. Sometimes. Okay? So it's like that. Being agitated by sutra, hunger and thirst arose within the universal form. This form is addressed as the Lord because the form is being worshipped worshipped with respect. The universal form is here being attributed to the Supreme Lord. Then the form desired to eat and drink. First, the mouth became distinct. Mukam niravidyata. Are you getting the sequence of flow? The Mahanasu appeared first. For the Mahanasu to be functional, he should be fed properly. Mahanasu, the 10 pranas, the Sutra Tattva in the form of 10 pranas to function in the body in the universal form, it should be fed. So the desire manifested. I need to eat, I need to drink. How that desire will be facilitated? Immediately hunger and thirst manifested. In order to fulfill the hunger and thirst, mouth manifested. Mouth अकेला कुछ करेंगे?
So जो universal form में जो हो रहा है, जो explanation वो अपने body में भी होता है.
What is अपना मतलब the universal form is nothing but all our bodies put together. Right. All of us put together is universal form. So like that.
हिरण्यगर्भ को sum total of ये बोलते हैं.
Sum total of जीवास.
जीवास बोलते हैं. तो हिरण्यगर्भ is
desired to eat and drink. Then hunger and thirst manifested. अब भूख को मिटाने के लिए माउथ मैनिफेस्टेड. ओके, छोटा बच्चा गर्भ के अंदर आएगा तो उनको भी भूख रहता है, उनको कैसे हो जाता है? How the Angaranthas are taking care of an embryo in the womb? Navel. So the navel pipe. But when the jiva comes out, it will be through mouth. So that is understanding. So now the universal form came out of the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. As long as the universal inside the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, through the navel pipe it is fed. When it comes out of the navel, it is fed through the mouth. So like मुखतस्थालो निर्भिन्नं जिह्वा तत्रोपजायते ततो नानारसज्जने जिह्वया योदिगम्यते.
After the appearance of the mouth, the palate became differentiated, and on the palate, the tongue appeared. From that, various tastes which are experienced by the tongue were generated.
First, desire appeared, then Angaranthast, then mouth, within the mouth talu, then jihva. Okay, if jihva is there, is that enough? In order to fulfill the Angaranthast, there should be some variety also. So what variety? The variety of different tastes: sweet, tikta, bitter, pungent, like that. आज तो हुआ ना, कितना variety हुआ था. So this verse elaborates on the Adi Daiva, Adi Bhuta and Adhyatma mentioned in verse number 13. After the mouth appeared, the location of the sense organ, the palate, the gross organ became differentiated. Palate means the physical organ known as the tongue or the entire talu portion. Okay, that is made up of flesh. That is grass. That is called Adi Bhuta. In the palate, the subtle sense organ called the tongue appeared. Tongue means jiva. The subtle sense organ which carried the taste sensation from the tongue, the flesh tongue to the heart, where intelligence is there, that appeared. From that, various tastes, that sense objects for the tongue appeared. The tastes are tanmatras. The taste comes from the food item which is there outside. It is not part of your body. The taste is coming from the bhoga offered to the Jagannath ji on the table. That is tanmatra. That is manifest in the external world. All the bhoga is manifest in the external world, not from inside a person. It is all external world. That is tanmatra. That is also adibhuta. That is adibhuta. The fleshy tongue is also adibhuta. The subtle tongue, which is the mechanism which carries the taste sensation from tongue to the heart, that is called jiva. And there is one person is missing. Adideva, the Devata, Devata Agni. Also, the presiding deity of the tongue, Varuna, should be understood to have appeared. For the speech, Agni is the Devata. For the tasting, Varuna is the Devata. If the taste is connected to the water element, na? So the deity of water element is Varuna. So Varuna also appeared. Though it is not clearly mentioned, sometimes it should be implied. It should be taken. In this description, the gross palate and the sense object are the Adibhuta aspect. The subtle sense organ is the Adhyatma aspect. And Varuna, the present deity, is the Adidaiva aspect. Though there are four elements, gross form, sense object, subtle sense organ, and deity, they are classified as three in the above manner. Because there is gross form, gross tongue is there, and the taste is also there. But both are aspect of Adibhuta only. The gross tongue is inside our body. The objects which are giving taste, the food items which are giving us taste, they are outside our body. But both are made up of Panchamahabhutas. The bhoga which is offered is also made up of Panchamahabhutas only. Na? It also carries earth, water, fire, air, ether elements only. It is made up of same five elements only. It is not something beyond them. Yes or no? The juices were made, the sweets were made, namkeen were made, rice items were made, sabjis were made. Huh? Sorry? Vivakshor magato no vahnir vag vyahritam tayo Jale vaitasya chuchiram nirodha samajayata nasike nirabidyetam doduyati na baswati tatra vayu gandhavaho grano nasi jigrikshata.
When the universal form desired to speak, from his mouth the Devata of fire, the voice, sense organ, and the speech, which is dependent on the Devata and the sense organ, appeared. When the form resided in the water for a long time, obstruction appeared for the universal form. When the life air became active, the two nostrils became differentiated. When the universal form desired to smell, Vayu, who carries fragrance, and the nose appeared.
Okay. So when the universal form desired to speak, mouth already manifested, na? Then speech is also connected to the mouth. When he desired to speak, and from his mouth, the Devata, mouth is manifested, mouth already manifested. So no tell once again. Then the Devata fire appeared. And the voice sense organ, vak is a subtle sense organ. Okay? Appeared. And speech, vyahurtam, which is a sense object, that also appeared. Which is dependent on the Devata and the sense organ appeared. So all these things are belonging to Karmendriya. Karmendriya speaking. When the form resided in the water for a long time, obstruction appeared for the universal form. What kind of obstruction? When the life air became active, the two nostrils became differentiated. When the universal form desired to smell, Vayu, who carries fragrance, and the nose appeared. So as long as the child in the womb, can he breathe? As soon as the child comes out of the womb, what happens? Start breathes. Same way, as long as the universal inside the Garbhodakasha Vishnu's body does not breathe, as soon as the comes out, it was feeling obstruction. Water means inside the body of Garbhodakasha Vishnu. Garbhodakasha Vishnu is inside the Garbhodaka ocean, and universal inside the body of Garbhodakasha Vishnu. So universal inside the Garbhodaka ocean. But when it came out of the nabi of the Garbhodakasha Vishnu, now it started feeling suffocation. I want to breathe. I want to breathe. I want to breathe. For breathing, the gross nostril, Nasika appeared. The subtle nostril, the Grana appeared. The deity, Vayu appeared. And breathing started. Okay. And nostril also has one more function, smelling. The smelling also started manifesting. Just like mouth had two functions, one is tasting, other one is speaking. The nostril also has two functions. One is breathing, other one is smelling. How the smell goes on through Vayu, na? Vayu carries the smell, that also manifested. Fragrance also manifested, and the nose, Nasika also manifested. It's like that. There is a desire. The desire is facilitated now by manifesting the respective bodily limbs. Are you getting? Just follow the sequence. When prana appeared, for prana to manifest its activities, it should need some strength. Then the Angaram Tast manifested. So, to manifested Angaram Tast, there is mouth, and there is palat, there is jiva, there are tastes. The same mouth will also speak. The speech will manifest, and deity Agni will manifest. And he just came out of the water. As long as he was in the water, he was feeling suffocation. As soon as he came out, he wanted to breathe. That was the desire. In order to facilitate the breathing, the nostril manifested, and the Vayu Devata manifested, the carrier of the prana. And there is another function of the nostril is smelling. For smelling, Grana is manifested, subtle sense organ Grana. And then the deity, Ashwini Kumara, is also manifested.
You say that the soul actually resides in the womb of the person. He does not breathe.
No breathing is only outside the womb. Inside the womb, no breathing.
Then when you are actually saying that the Mukhya Prana, with the help of the Mukhya Prana, only the 10 pranas will be activated. Then, when child is actually there in the womb, then wouldn't, without the help of the Mukhya Prana, how the 10 pranas are getting activated and baby is actually residing in the womb of the mother?
Are the 10 pranas are performing some activity in the body, within the body?
Yes, breathing is performed.
Breathing is performed in the body.
In the womb.
No.
Baby breathes.
No. As soon as baby comes out of the womb, only breathing starts. As soon as breathing stops, baby died. No, I don't think so. I never heard that baby breathes in the within the body. Then now why are you saying that it is breathing?
Because some videos we actually see.
Yes, again.
Heart
beats.
But then how the lungs are developed, and the lungs are, if the lungs are developed, there is no breathing, and the heart also actually starts beating.
No, I don't think so.
Heart also doesn't beat.
The growth mechanism inside the womb is different than outside. Outside the growth mechanism is through eating. Inside the growth mechanism is through the pipe, which is directly going through the navel, coming from the mother. Both are different.
Navel से air जाता है.
Air नहीं, food जाता है. Food. That food develop the grass body.
हाँ, तो mother के navel से food जाता है.
Mother के navel से नहीं. Mother का food pipe से it passes the food, whatever we eat, it going through all the digestive system. In the digestive system only the womb is there. In that whatever food we eat, the digested food will go through, passes through the child's body. हाँ? डॉक्टर से बात करो ना, सीखने की जरूरत नहीं. एक बार बात करो डॉक्टर से, बताएंगे क्या कैसे होगा, क्या होता है करके अंदर. The breathing होता है क्या? Just find out one doctor. You got so many VTA doctors are there. Ask some doctor. Does the child breathes in the womb? How the child's body is nourished in the womb? That nourishment is entirely different from the nourishment which happens outside. The outside nourishment is through our breathing, through our eating. But inside the womb, these two are not working. So it happens in a different way. We are all different speculators. In the location of the mouth of the universal form appeared the Devata fire, the subtle sense organ voice, and the sense object speech, all manifested, which is dependent on the Devata and the senses.
The universal form.
Huh?
I'm doctor of universal form.
आपको मेरा मैकेनिज्म पता है. डॉक्टर नहीं, पेशेंट है. पेशेंट बनकर थोड़ा बहुत पता चल गया. अपना डॉक्टर स्वयं बनो. So like that. Patient is the best doctor sometimes. Because patient knows what is the problem with himself more than the doctor. When obstruction took place in the water for the universal form without breathing, he should not continue existence. The nostril at the location, the grass form, by which breathing can take place. As far as I remember, the child does not breathe as long as in the womb. As soon as the child comes out, he feels so much inconvenience that he is not able to breathe. They give him bath, then they clear off the nostril immediately as the child is born, so that the breathing can start. If the breathing does not start immediately, the child will die. And then the child starts crying also. Okay, the breathing also becomes functional, mouth also becomes functional. The mouth does its function of crying, the nostril does its function of breathing. It's like that. Until now, for the 9 months, hands and legs cannot move here and there. So after birth, the child starts little bit moving the legs and hands, starts expressing the desire of moving the hands and legs. So it's like that. Huh? The nostrils are the location of the grass form by which, okay, air or Vayu, who carried the fragrance, the Devata, and fragrance the sense object. The nose is the subtle sense organ. Jujjikshata means of he who desire to receive smell. First he desired to breathe, then nostril manifested, breathing started. Then he desired to smell, then the grana manifested, and the devata Ashwini Kumara also manifested, and breathing function, not breathing, sensing mechanism started manifested. यदात्मनि निरालोकम आत्मानं चादिदृक्षता निर्भिन्ने हि अक्षिणी तस्या ज्योतिश्चक्षुर्गुणग्रहा.
When there was no vision in the universal form, and he desired to see, the two eyes, the presiding deity known as sun, the sense organ called the eye, which experiences form, sense object appeared.
जगन्नाथ महाप्रसाद लिया नहीं लगता है आज, इतना डल. So when the universe from desire to see something, okay, ये बताओ, जब तक चाइल्ड घर में रहता है देखता है क्या कुछ? क्यों नहीं दिखेगा? अंधेरे रूम में भी थोड़ा थोड़ा दिखेगा ना. अभी लाइट बंद करने का, अभी इधर रखेंगे, कुछ दिखेगा ना आपको, थोड़ा थोड़ा, इफ नॉट फुल.
लेकिन उसको पूरा के बंद रहता है.
हाँ, वही बंद रहता है. वैसे ही नास्टल भी बंद रहते हैं, सब बंद रहते हैं, माउथ भी बंद रहते हैं. They cannot perform any activity in the womb. But as soon as they come out of the womb, will they express the desire to see? They open eyes and start seeing. क्या है, कौन है? अभी तक कोई देखा नहीं, 9 महीने से कोई देखा नहीं मुझे. ये सब कहाँ से आ गया है? सब लोग इधर उधर running, trying to get something there, here, like that. So when he desired to see, the two eyeballs manifested, and their deity sun manifested, and the subtle sense organ chakshu manifested, which experienced the form, and the form also appeared outside. Desire होने से कुछ फायदा नहीं, देखने का कुछ भी होना चाहिए, कुछ होना चाहिए ना. That is also manifested. Desire रहेगा यार, कुछ देखने का नहीं रहेगा तो क्या फायदा? So that is also manifested. When there was no vision within himself, desiring to see himself and others, the location called the gross eye, Akshni, the sun devata, Surya, and the subtle eye, Chakshu, which experienced the form, all appeared. Form is the sense object. Form also, all other form which eye sees also appeared. Niralokam, devoid of vision, is an indeclinable word, like nirmakshikam, free from flies. Nirmakshikam. Abhi makshis are there all over. Masters. Bodhyamanasya rishibir atmanasta jujikshata karnau cha nirabidhetam diksha disha strotram gunagraha.
When the universal form desired to understand himself, which is revealed by Vedic sound, the two gross ears, the direction devatas, and the subtle ear organ, which receives sound, appear.
This is the purpose of the ears. What is the purpose of the ears? Desire to understand himself. Atmanam bodhamanasya jijikshata. He developed the desire to know who is he. Who am I? That is only told by the Vedas. Tad Rishibi. Rishibir Bahuda Gitam Chandobir Vidak Prutak. याद है क्या? कहाँ पे आते हैं?
15 chapter में.
हाँ? क्या बोला मैंने भाई? कौन सा श्लोक बोला? ऋषिबीर बहुधा गीतम चंदोबीर विदय पृथक. Which chapter of which book this shloka comes? कभी सुनाया था? हाँ? Confident? पक्का? लॉक कर दो? Which chapter? श्लोका नंबर चलेगा, but which chapter? हाँ?
छंद बोला तो मुझे 15 चैप्टर याद है, उसमें भी छंद आता है ना, एक आता है ना छंद.
13 chapter में आते हैं. 13 chapter में. After describing Kshetra, if you want more detail about Kshetra, you refer to Vedic literatures. Rishibir Bahuda Gitam Chandobir Vidak Prutak. एक भक्ति शास्त्री, दूसरा ब्रह्मचारीज. You should have at least slight memory, slight remembrance,
छंद आया तो
slight clue.
लेकिन भगवत गीता बराबर बता है मुझे।
हाँ,
लेकिन भगवत गीता बराबर बता है। बेसिक्स क्लियर है थोड़ा सा।
okay. So when he desired to know who is he, the ears which can hear the Vedic sounds manifested, and then the subtle sense organ Shrotram, which takes the information from the karna to the heart, manifested, and then the sounds manifested, sense object, and then finally the deity of the ears, Dik Devatas, also manifested. That is direction Devatas. They are called Dik Devatas, direction Devata, Disha. When the universal form desired to receive understanding about himself, which is revealed in the Vedas, the ears appeared. Gunagraha, ear means the ear received the sound, the sense object of the ear. When the Virat Rupa desired to understand himself, the two grass ears, the Dik Devatas, and the subtle ear, Grana, Shrotram, they all appeared, one after the other. वस्तुनो मृदु काठिन्य लघु गुरु उष्ण शीतशाम जिदृश्यता त्वन् निर्भिन्ना तस्यां रोम महीरुहा तत्र चान्तर्बहिर्वातस् त्वचा लब्ध गुणोव्रता.
When he desired to experience softness, hardness, lightness, heaviness, warmth and coolness, the gross skin became differentiated. Along with body, hairs and plants, the sense devatas of the hairs, Vayu, the sense devata of the skin, along with the subtle sense organ skin, pervades internally and externally.
When the universal form desired to experience softness or hardness, soft, hard, and lightness and heaviness, heavy, light, and warmth and coolness, warmth, cool. These are all different functions of the skin. And skin also has one more function, itching and irritation. It is also the function of skin only.
Is a dysfunction or a proper function?
No, function is function. Whether it is proper or improper, अलग है. कुछ तो है ना. When there is an abnormality, there comes the boil comes, there is itching, irritation, and so many other things will be there. That is due to the hair holes on the skin, and also the hairs on the skin. There is directly connected to them. Some problem with the skin function, etc. So that itching, irritation is in relation to the air holes and the skin hairs, whose present are the plants. The plants are also called as Oshadi. Plants are also called Oshadi. Oshadi means medicine. So when there is abnormality of the skin in the form of irritation, itching and pain and all, that can be nullified by taking shelter of roots of the Oshadi. वो भी है. Our medicine also manifest, Ayurveda medicine are all from the roots or leaves or the fruits or whatever it say banate. That is a direct connection. That is one function of the skin, is showing the disease in the form of itching, irritation, heat, temperature increasing, all other things. They can be nullified by the plants, Oshadi. That's how they are the deities for that. And the touch sensation and all, it is connected to the wind. The deity is wind. When wind gushes and touches it, and we experience the softness, hardness, cool and warmth, etc. They are the different functions of the skin. The external skin, tvacha, manifested. The internal skin, sparshanam, also manifested. It's like that. For every object, we are seeing two functions. For the mouth, two functions were there. For nostril, two functions were there. Like for skin also two functions are there. Huh? एक touching, दूसरा disease. When the universal form decide to receive the sensation or qualities of softness, hardness, lightness, heaviness, warmth, and coolness in different objects, skin appeared. The skin is the location of the sense organ, because to understand the lightness or heaviness of objects by placing them in the hands. Lightness and heaviness are the sense objects. This is according to the followers of the Puranas. In that location, the Devata Vayu is situated, extending internally and externally by the sense organ called skin, which receive the sense objects called touch. Select that. In that location also, the hair is the sense organ. The herbs are the Devata, and the sense object is itching. There is the skin pores are there, then the skin hairs are there. And then there is itching. And then the remedy is in the form of herbs. Thus, in the skin, there are two sense organs. The meaning is this. The sense organ skin is called hair when it receives touch sensation along with the itching externally. The plants acts as the present deity for the skin, that is air. When the sense organ skin receives touch internally or externally, it is called skin. Its deity is Vayu. Touch sensation के लिए deity is Vayu. Irritation के लिए deity is plants, Oshadi, or various variety of herbs and plants. So like that. In the third canto, it will be said, when there was a manifestation of skin separated from the gigantic form, Anila, the deity directing the wind, entered with the sense organ skin, and thus the living entities can realize tactile knowledge. When the grass skin of the universal form appeared, the present deities of the plants, the plants, along with their portion in subtle organ called body hairs, entered. By these body hairs, relief from itching appears. So like that. Charmani indicates skin. Pranena amshena means with the sense organ called skin, which is spread with pranavayu. There is one pranavayu spreads all over the skin, all over the body. I think Udana, Vyana, the fifth one is there, which is spreading all over the body, that is spread all over the skin. In Bahurucha Shruti, this is partially described. The skin differentiated, from that came hairs, from hairs came the plants and trees. In the first chapter, it is said that from the skin, hairs of the universal form, there appeared the plants. Plants are manifestation of the skin hairs only, na? So like that. Thus, when the Virat Rupa desired to experience softness, hardness, etc., the grass skin, the subtle organ hairs and plants, the sense Devata hairs, and Vayu all appeared. Asaururuhatastasya nana karma chakirshaya tayostu balavan indra abhanam udayashrayam.
When the universal form desired to perform various activities, the two hands, their strength, the deity Indra, and the sense object, namely receiving things which take shelter of the Devata, and the sense organ appeared.
When he wanted to perform activities, the two hands manifested, and their strength, Bala, appeared, and the deity Indra appeared, and the sense object. What is the activity of the hands? Receiving objects. Adanam. Adana means Adan Pradhan. What is the meaning of Adan Pradhan in your general context, cultural context?
Taking and receiving, giving and receiving.
Giving and receiving. That is the function of the hands. Giving and receiving the function of the hands, which takes shelter of the Devata and the sense organ, all appeared. Strength of the hands is the sense organ. Subtle sense organ is the strength of the hands. Indra is the Devata. The sense object is receiving things, which is dependent on the sense organ of the Devata. So like that. Gatim jigishatapado ruruham ruruhate abhikamikam padbhyam yajna Yajna swayam havyam karma bhi kriyate nribi.
When the universal form desired movement, dear to him, 2 feet appeared. The Devata of the feet is Yajna. By the sense organ of feet, men go about to collect objects for sacrifice.
This is the combined verse of the previous sloka and this sloka also. Okay. Third canto, the function of the hands is said as vritti. Vritti means, or varta it is said. Varta means our vritti. Vritti is basically varnashrama duties. The duties are performed by hands generally. And then the universal form desired movement. The 2 feet appeared. Pada. Okay. And the ability to move is invested in the pada. The Devata Yajna appeared. And by the sense organ feet, the men go about, they move about from one place to other place. For what purpose? To collect various objects. How they collect various objects? With the help of the hands. Why they need to go from one place to other place and collect various objects? In order to perform Yajna. Lord has given us the legs and hands so that we can perform Yajna. Havyam karmabir kriyate nrubi. That is the purpose of the hands and legs. If we don't do that, hands and legs are like legs are like the trunks of a tree, and hands are like the hands of a dead body. So like that. Desiring to move about, which was desired to him, which was dear to him, the 2 feet appeared. The literal meaning of Jigishata, one who desires to obtain, means in this case simply one who desires. Yajna, empowered by Vishnu, is situated at the Devata of the feet. The sense organ is indicated by the word karmabhi, the Shakti of the action of going. By the sense organ of the feet, one goes about to collect the items for sacrifice. This going about is the sense object. Nrubi indicates that all the individual jivas perform these acts. The feet are used to obtain objects which are prescribed by the scriptures, not ordinary objects, which are prescribed by the scriptures should be collected and used for performance of Yajna. Nirabidyata Shishno Vai Prajanandamrutartina Upasta Asit Kamanam Priyam Tad Ubayashrayam.
When the universal form desired offspring, sexual pleasure and enjoyment of Svarga, the phoenix appeared. The subtle sense organ, the Devata of the sex organ, and the pleasure of enjoyment with women, which is dependent on the sex organ, and the Devata appeared.
Yeah, when the universal form desired in offspring, the generating organ appeared, the location where it is situated, Upastha, also appeared, and then the activity of procreation also appeared, and the object for procreation also appeared. So all these things appeared, so one after the other. When the universal form desired offspring, sexual pleasure and sexual enjoyment like Svarga, the location of the sex organ, Upastha, appeared. As well, the sense organ called Shishna and the Devata Daksha Prajapati should be understood to have appeared. All these things all appeared.
Most of the cases in the Shastras, here, most of the cases it is actually pointing to the men.
Who will go to
in connection with the men, because in those days, all Shastras are generally read by only men. That is why it is actually told.
Not in those days. Any day, Shastra is meant for men only. Only men goes to Gurukul and they study Shastra. They come home and the women in cooperation with the men, they perform all the activities. Shastra is a subject matter of analytical study, which is the activity of the men. The women cannot. That's why Mahabharata, for whom Mahabharata written? Shudra, Dvija, Bandhu, who are not qualified to study Shastra. That qualification is not based on because just because you are a woman, you cannot study, not like that. It is not their cup of tea. Shastra means analytical study. That cannot be done by other. That's why. Shastra everywhere you see everything is related to men only. The men is expected to study Shastra. But unfortunately, in the modern nowadays, in our classes, women are more than the men. In all our courses, Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, temple or classes and all many places, women are more than men. I don't know what is the reason. I don't know. Men are tired, all tired of doing so many other things.
They have to go out for jobs.
So it's like that. But actually, studying Shastra, the inclination to study Shastra is the inclination of men. As you raised yesterday point, na, in our Bhagavatam class, we always talk about stories only. Why not these technical topics? Because stories is what liked by people in general. A person with intellectual capacity can understand the analytical study. So that's how the distinction. That is the job of the men. So, the sense object happiness, this is my understanding, I may be wrong also. The sense object happiness arising from relationship with a woman, which is dependent on the sense organ and the devata, are also arose. Huh? Oh, that is summary of the entire verse. That is nothing but the translation only. Ustrikshordatumalam nirabidyata vaigudam tatapayostato mitra ustarga ubayashraya.
When the universal form desired to expel waste products, the gross anus appeared. In the sense organ called anus, its devata mitra and the sense object expulsion dependent on the anus and the mitra appeared.
When the universal desired to expel the waste products, the gross anus appeared. And subtle sense organ also called anus, that is payu, appeared. The deity mitra appeared. And the activity expulsion, ustarga, appeared. Like that. Desiring to expel the waste products of digested food, dhatu malam. The anus means the gross location appeared. The sense organ of excretion, payu, the devata mitra, and the sense object expulsion all appeared. In the commentary on 269, it is explained that the deity is Mrityu and Mitra is an assistant. Here only Mitra name is given, that's why that addition is given. So actually it is Mrityu and Mitra is also an assistant of both. Come and together will take care of this function.
Mrityu is the same as Yamaraj or it's
Mrityu Devata. No, Mrityu is not Yamaraj. Mrityu is the principal servant of Yamaraj. The Mrityu Danda you say, na? There is the rod of death which is held by Yamaraj, Yamapash. That is Mrityu personified.
Yamaraj and your assistant is Mrityu and Mrityu's assistant is Mitra.
Hasispushor purapurya nabidvaram apanata tatrapanatato mrityu prutaktvam ubayashrayam. Read the translation.
When the universal form desired to go from his body to another body by the path of apana and the prana, the location of the opening of the navel, sense organ apana, the devata mrityu, and the sense object death, which take shelter of the devata and the sense organ arose.
When the universal desired to go from one body to another body, cycle of transmigration, the location of the opening of the navel, nabidvaram, the sense organ apana, it is generally by apana vayu only that it takes place, and the devata mrityu and the sense object death all appeared one after the other. When the universal form desired to go from his body into other bodies by the path of apana and also prana, though not mentioned, the location of the navel, the sense organ apana, and the devata mrityu and the sense object death, which depends on the apana and the devata arose. So basically death takes place with the help of prana and apana. Below nabi, apana functions. Above nabi, prana functions. So in our body we have 9 holes. In general, when a person dies, the soul comes out of the body through one of these 9 holes. The prana coming out of one of the 5 holes on the head the 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, and the mouth, 7 holes. The prana comes out along with the prana. The life comes out along with the prana. When the life is leaving from the 2 holes below, anus and genital, then it comes out taking shelter of apana. It's like that. So either taking shelter of prana or taking shelter of apana, the life, the soul along the subtle body comes out of the dead body, passing through one of the 9 holes.
Does it actually determine one's destination?
I don't
Based on one's-
I don't know. It may not be destination, but we can actually give a understanding that if somebody is leaving their body from the upper portion of the head, they lead a life of piety. Somebody
voluntarily they actually stop the uh, soul which go from apana.
uh,
Voluntarily by external means they actually stop
who
yogis.
yogis does not allow the life to leave from any of these 9 holes. They block all the 9 holes. The soul comes out of the Brahmarandra. Coming out of these 9 holes means that is the death is taking out the soul from one of the 9 holes. The one who keeps death under control and he himself is leaving the body, that is through Brahmarandra. There death becomes subservient. He is not dying, he is giving up the body. In other case, death person for taking out the soul from the body. So both are different. But generally, my little understanding is that person who led a pious life will leave their body through one of these 7 holes in the face. Person who led a sinful life will leave the body through anus or genital. And those people are seen to passing stool and urine at the time of death. Along with the stool and urine which comes out of the body, the soul comes out. That is the general understanding. Or some people generally they while dying they seem to be keeping eyes wide open or mouth wide open. If mouth is wide open means the soul is coming out of the mouth. Eyes are wide open means the soul is coming out of the eyes. Like that we can infer. Exactly I don't know, but that is how we can infer. Yeah, it could be like that. So, or somebody might keep the mouth, eyes wide open because they are just seeing the Yamadutas. Just by looking at them, it's like that. Out of astonishment, out of fear, out of bivasta, they might open the mouth and also. That is also there. But we can give a benefit of doubt. It is well known that death involves separation from the bonds of both prana and apana in the navel region. It is prana and apana region only. It is navel only. Prana apana are connected. So they decide to go upward or downward at the navi portion. वहां पे डिसाइड होता है अभी प्राण इस बार ऊपर से चलने जाना नीचे से जाने का like that that's it. And the connection to navel is after leaving this body when they enter into the body of another mother their birth is through navel. As long in the womb the nourishment and growth is all through navel only. That's how the connection. After death the jiva depends on navel only till the jiva takes next birth. आदिस्तोर अन्न प्राणानाम आसान कुक्षि अंत्र नाडया नद्या समुद्राश्चतयो तुष्टि पुष्टि तदाश्रया.
When the universal form desired to take in food and drink, the location of the abdomen, the sense organs in the form of intestines and veins, their devatas, the rivers and oceans, and their sense objects, fullness from food and fullness from liquid, which take shelter of the sense organs, and their devatas appear.
Yeah. Now, the first thing is hunger and thirst manifested. But to satisfy hunger and thirst, there are 2 ways. Either by eating food or by drinking liquids. Okay. So when he developed that desire, in connection to the foods, the antra are manifested. In the connection to drink, the nadis are manifested. Antra means intestines, where food is digested. Nadi are the veins, where blood is flowing, which is direct form of liquids. So where the food is digested in the abdomen, antra, the deities are oceans. Where the blood is flowing in the veins, the deities are the rivers. They also manifested. In the purport, if you read, Prabhupada writes that if somebody has some digestional problems with respect to the abdomen, they should go to ocean, take ocean bath. They'll be rectified. If somebody has some problem with the blood circulation, they should take bath in the rivers so that they can be cured. Because the blood circulation in the veins is directly connected to the rivers, which are constantly flowing, and the food digestion in the anthras, intestines, is directly connected to the ocean, where water remains stable. Ocean water doesn't go here and there; it is there only, like the abdomen. So like that. The abdomen is the location. The sense organ is the location of the intestines, which absorbs the food. The veins are the sense organ, which absorbs the liquid. The devata of the veins are the rivers, and the devata of the intestines are the ocean. Tushti means the fullness of the belly, and pushti means the fullness because of the taste. Tushti, pushti, tushti takes place in the when the belly is full. Tushti will take place. Pushti will take place when there is good amount of taste. Taste is due to water. Water is liquid. Food is solid. हाँ बस उतना ही है.
I thought you were going to connect that with ocean or river. Please stop.
No. Water is liquid, is moving constantly. That is river. And the solid food is stationary. It can't move here and there. That is ocean. So like that. Tushti is the sense object dependent on the intestines and the ocean. And pushti is the sense object dependent on the veins and rivers. So like that. Nididhyasor atmamayam hrudayam nirabidyata tato manas chandra iti sankalpa kamaye vacha.
The universal form desire to contemplate material objects and illusions concerning himself, the heart appear. And the sense organ called the mind, the devata called Chandra, and the sense object's determination and the desire arose.
When the universal form wanted to contemplate, hey, what is this? What is this? What is this? Who is he? Who is he? Who is he? Who is he? And ultimately, who am I? Am I a male? Am I an engineer? Am I a brahmachari? Am I a youth? Am I adult? Am I old? Am I patient? Am I healthy? All such doubts will come. In order to facilitate such kind of contemplation, there appeared heart. In the heart, there appeared mind. Heart is the gross organ, mind is the subtle organ. And the deity, Chandra. And the sense object, determination and desire, sankalpa, kama, etc. Sankalpa is determination to get something, to do something. And kama, desire something. आज क्या कहता है प्रसाद में? नहीं वो नहीं, उधर बहुत सारा था पर कुछ मिला नहीं. नहीं मतलब see, the mind is thinking like that. I am giving an example. आपको नहीं पूछ रहा हूँ. So mind might think that okay, today प्रसाद में बहुत सारे items था, गुलाब जामुन था, उधर समोसा था, कचौरी था, but कुछ मिला नहीं. कुछ मिला नहीं. कुछ मिलता तो अच्छा होता था. That is kama. And now sankalpa is that I think kitchen wala might have removed something and they might have kept in the storeroom. Let me go and make an endeavor to get something. That is sankalpa. Determination to get something. So like that. Kama is general desire. Sankalpa is determined desire. These are the functions of the mind. Desiring to contemplate Maya concerning oneself and the object created by Maya. What Maya? Maya means my body and your body, this body, this body, this body, this body, everything in this world. Trying to understand what is what. The desire comes in the mind. The location called heart appeared. The sense organ called mind. The devata called Chandra. And the sense object, determination to understand it and desire to know it, both appeared. First comes desire, then comes determination. From third canto, 3.6, 23, 24, 26, it is also understood that in the location of the heart, the senses known Chitta, Ahankara, and Buddhi, and the devatas known as Vasudeva, Rudra, and Brahma also appeared. In this way, 18 senses have been mentioned. This is known from the 11th canto, 11, 22 to 31, 32. Like that, there's a description of the 18 senses. There are 14 senses actually, plus 4 more extra is there. 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, 4 Antakaranas. In addition to that, 4 more sensual activities. One is breathing. Okay. The one is hunger and thirst, oceans and rivers. One is skin sensation, that itching and all, the plants. So like that, the 18 activities are mentioned.
Breathing, hunger and thirst.
No, not hunger and thirst. Food and liquids.
Breathing, food and liquid.
And itching. Four extra additional functions.
This same.
Yeah, problem.
How we are actually combining this with respect to the 14 elements?
14 are the prominent activities. The other 4 also other activities also. They are also kind of activities which are happening always, na?
But those are the actually root causes for appearing this. No?
Oh.
They are different, and these are
functionally both are different. It is the nostril only which is doing both the functions, breathing also and the smelling also. But smelling is a Jnanendriya. Breathing is Sutra Tattva. Both are different functions. Might be happening the same object, same nostril, but 2 are different functions. Both are not same. Breathing is not same as smelling. Smelling is different from breathing. You can stay without smelling, but you can't stay without breathing. And touch sensation and the itching both are different. Touch sensation नहीं रहेगा तो भी चलेगा. Disease नहीं जाएगा तो मर जाएंगे. That is important. Hunger and thirst are general desires, but it is fulfilled only by solid food and liquids in the form of juices, water, milk. Okay. And hunger and thirst psychologically fulfilled by, so there, that is connected to the taste sensation. There, the food and liquid can be without taste also. We can take sometimes without taste also. You are full. Your Jnanendriya may not be satisfied without taste, but your body gets nourished. Taste ke bina. May not be the taste of expectation. Mild taste will be there. Basic taste will be there. Very simple. But nourishment is there. So like that. So both are different in that sense. On a feast day, there are so many fancy items which may give you high satisfaction, the taste quotient, but they may not be good to your belly. Huh? Yeah. Pasta, pizza, they may be tasty because adding so much milk cream and all. Taste is 100 marks, but tushti pushti, few marks nahi, negative marks. 0 bhi chalega, negative marks. Huh? Yes or no? Huh? Overall, Kakadi plus 10 marks and other things minus 50 marks. Overall, how much? सबको अलग अलग देके सबका cumulatively ऐड करना पड़ेगा. Overall कितना होगा? -40 होगा. -40 नहीं, -400 होता है कभी-कभी. बर्गर का आएगा तो -400, -500. पिज्जा बर्गर, हाँ, फुल मैदा का है. Maida don't digest, it is stuck up. That's why the belly. Recently, क्या था? दिया था ब्रेड वाला, वो यात्रा में दिया था सैंडविच. एक दिन पिज्जा भी था, डोसा होता, सैंडविच तो उसके पहले इधर भी था कुछ तो ऐसे ब्रेड वाला आइटम. बीच बीच में देते रहते हैं ना. What is this? Vada pav. Vada and pav. So all these things are not good if you consume in lot. Once in a while, 1 or 2 are okay, but not too much, not regularly. Are you getting? भागवत में सब डिटेल्स है. हम सोचते हैं भागवतम में सिंपल स्टोरीज है, क्या बाबा तुम सब पुराना स्टोरीज बोलते रहते हैं, टाइम पास करते रहते हैं, चलो कुछ काम का नहीं, पूरा टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हैं आप. नॉन प्रोडक्टिव सब्जेक्ट मैटर, the people say. But if you have time, if you have energy, if you have ability, you can get into each and every aspect of this. We are just briefly discussing. There are many more additional to it. त्वक् चर्म मांस रुधिर मेदो मज्जास्ति दातवा भूमि आपो तेजोमया सप्त प्राणो व्योमाम्बु वायुभिः.
The seven dhatus known as skin, its upper layer, muscle, blood, fat, marrow, and bone, are composed of predominantly of earth, water, and fire. The life airs are nourished by air, ether, and water.
Our body, which is the grass, is made up of earth, water, fire, predominantly. Out of the 5 grass elements, these 3 are more. And these 3 transform themselves into the 7 dhatus. Tvak, okay, and charma, mamsa, rudira, meda, and majja, and asti. They are the sapta dhatus of our grass body. Our entire grass body consists of all these 5. And our subtle body is functional because of prana. And prana is nourished by vayu, ambu, and vyoma. Air, ether, and water. These 3 will nourish our prana. A person's prana becomes healthy and active or rejuvenated when we go to the places where these 3 are abundant. Water, vayu, and vyoma. That's what I said. Congested. In congested place, you can't. Your prana becomes weak. That's why in the brahmachari ashram, brahmacharis fall sick very quickly. Because so much congestedness. Having described the sense organs, gross location, sense objects, and sense devata, Sukadeva Goswami described the nature of the dhatus and other items which arise as portions of the elements in 2 verses. Tvak and charma are the grass and subtle aspect of the skin. Tvak is the grass skin, charma is the subtle skin. The 7 dhatus starting with skin and ending with bone are composed of earth, water, and fire elements. Predominantly earth, water, fire only there in all the 7 dhatus. Though those items have all 5 elements as components because air and others do not nourish the body through food and other items. The gross body is primarily nourished by food items and drink items. The food and drinks are basically made up of earth, water, and fire because we can only eat by cooked food. We can only eat cooked food in that way. Whereas water, earth, and fire do, but not the air and ether so much. Only 3 elements are mentioned for that reason. The prana composed of air is nourished by ether and water. The prana composed of air is nourished by ether and water. Air also. Prana itself is made up of airs, na? Air ke bina prana kaise mala bachega? When you breathe only, the oxygen is also one form of air only, na? Which prana? When you say prana, principally you are talking about mukhya prana. Then what? Mukhya prana is oxygen. Oxygen is air or not? It is one type of air. Oxygen is airy element or solid element or liquid element? That only. That is the only okay.
The prana which we are reflecting here.
No.
In the previous verses, it actually said it is a ether element. It is different from vayu. That is what we have discussed.
Vayu in general is the devata for the touch sensation. But that vayu itself carries mukhya prana. Mukhya prana is one of the vayu.
In the 15th verse.
It's okay.
Mukhya
See.
prana is different from vayu. That is what.
Yeah. See, vayu in general means total wind, overall wind. Out of the 100 types of winds, out of the 100 types of air elements, as you studied in chemistry, there is one element called oxygen. That is mukhya prana. Oxygen is one of the many vayus. When you say Vayu, Vayu means all voice put together. When you say Mukhya Prana, only oxygen. So like that. Mukhya Prana is also Vayu. But Vayu is not just Mukhya Prana. Vayu contains many other things along with the Mukhya Prana. So like that.
You are a synthesizer of modern science and ancient science.
I am looking for watch from last half an hour. Gunatmakanindriyani bhutadi prabhava guna manas sarva vikaratma buddhir vijnana rupini.
The senses gravitate to sense objects. The sense objects appear attractive because of false ego. The mind sustains all changes. The intelligence consists of the power of discrimination.
This is the one important verse which helps us understand our philosophy. What is Vaishnava philosophy? Where are the stumbling blocks of our Vaishnava philosophy? Can come from this verse. The senses nature is to gravitate to sense objects. Gunatmakani indriyani. Okay. The five senses are always looking after five sense objects. Yes or no?
Yes.
When nice boga is offered to the lordships, when the curtain is removed, what the eyes will tell, what the nostril will tell, what the tongue will do, what the hands will do then, in between what the mind will do. Huh? Aisa, namaskar karte hai kya? I don't think so. If we have that position, immediately we'll go and collect the drone, which has that desirable item, whose fragrance entered into your eyes, whose form entered into your, whose fragrance entered into your nose, whose fragrance entered into your eyes. By these two information, the mind says, yeah, take it. The hands go forward and take the drone and go ahead. If somebody asks something more, the mouth will say, my dear sir, it is for me, not for you. Or say, okay, take little. Remaining for me, little for you, more for me. The mouth will do. And after going inside, you sit there and hands will perform their activity.
Mechanism is so fast.
वही होता है ना. Since you are new, you may not do it. But those who are already there from many years in the ashram, who have that authority, who have that command, they will do. They don't have to look here and there. Just they take it and then move on. Palika Mataji comes and tells one word. तो ये ट्रे लेके आओ घर पे. बस वो ट्रे जाना चाहिए उनके घर पे. Yes or no? She has that commanding power. So, Gunatmakan Indriyani. The senses always gravitate toward the sense objects. Second, the sense objects become attractive by the false ego. Bhutadi prabhava guna. Why the sense objects are active? The sense objects are very attractive? Because ego finds enjoyment in them. The ahankara tells the mind, get them. Because ego knows that this sense object gives me nice enjoyment. उनको पता है, पहले एंजॉय किया, अभी देखा, देखते हुए उनको समझ में आ गया, ये मस्त मजा आएगा इसमें, ले लो, लेके आओ. So like that. The sense objects become attractive by the false ego. A person gets attracted to sense objects because of false ego. Because false ego demands, I want them. I want to have them right now. And mind sustains all the changes, sarva vikaratma, like happiness and distress. It is the mind which stores all the good and bad experiences. When the senses contact tanmatras. Sometimes the kachori may appears very good, but inside the kachori, the whatever material is there, it may be too spicy. So when you eat the good looking kachori, but when you taste it is too spicy, that experience is stored. Externally it may looks like nice, but internally it may not be nice. So next time I should take a small piece of kachori, taste it. If it tastes good, then take full kachori. Otherwise, don't take full. Like that. Buddhi consists of power of discrimination. Buddhi Vijnana Rupini. This is Buddhi's function. Buddhi will tell. अभी last time ज़्यादा लिया था, वो बहुत spicy था, खाना पड़ा. इतना ट्रबल हो गया है, खाते समय आंखों से पानी आया, खाने के बाद अंदर जला था, बाद में बाथरूम में भी जल रहा था. So like that. So next time he makes a determined, he makes a what we can say, choice in such a way that okay, first let me taste little bit. He takes the drone, but he keeps on the table, takes little, tastes nice. Okay, takes one kachuri, two kachuri based on the taste. But not tasting according to the expectations. Whatever little he has taken, that much. Leaves, remaining thing he leaves behind the table. Others will take. So this is how a person performs activities. I'm giving example of food because food we can correlate. Like that example applicable to all other sense objects in relation to everything. In relation to the relationships also. Family members, friends and relatives. Everything same way we can analyze. In this way, the nature of both the mind and the intelligence has been described. Etad bhagavato rupam sthulam te vyahritam maya mai adibis chavaranayor Chavaranair Ashtabir Bahiravrutam.
I have thus described to you the composition of one universe as the form of the Lord, which is covered by 8 layers of earth, water, fire, air, ether, false ego, Mahatattva, and Prakriti.
Thus, I have described to you the gross universal fall. Sthulam Bhagavato Rupam. This is the description of the Vairaja. The gross body of it is manifested, etc. Which is covered by 8 layers made up of earth, water, fire, ether, ahankara, mahatattva, and prakriti. The universal form, the Vairaja, which is nothing but the lotus flower, is covered by the 8 universal layers made up of earth, water, fire, ether, ahankara, mahatattva, and prakriti. Sthulam refers to the universal form, the totality of one universe. Maya Adibi refers to the layers around the universe. The universe with its coverings is called the Mahasamishti or Mahasthulam. The entire universe covered by 8 layers is all put together is called as Mahasthulam. I have thus described to you the universal form of the Lord, which is covered by 8 layers of earth, water, fire, ether, false ego, Mahatattva, and Prakriti. The description of the gross universal form is completed.
What is this 8 layers which cannot be perceived through our eyes?
No.
They are there.
They are there.
They are there.
We can't perceive because our eyes can't see that much.
But those who are higher beings,
they can perceive. They can perceive. The great sages, the Devatas can perceive the 8 layers.
they are original.
We can't perceive what is there inside this wall only. What to speak of perceiving 8 layers, which are very far.
So this earth element, this also like falls. So they have color also. ऐसा कुछ they are represented.
What color?
ऐसा कुछ earth है तो it is represented by when they will perceive करते होंगे तो कुछ differentiate.
That qualities we don't know. I mean, of course, this earth is one color, this earth is one color. In our presence is like that. Okay, this distinction may be there, but colors can be there. But which color it may be? Overall, it is earth only, na? The color may be different. You may pursue, you may not pursue. But overall, it is earth element only. It is there.
So air element will have the air and with all the fragrances. Whatever.
Yes. Air element will have.
Varieties.
No. Air will have touch.
Sorry.
Earth will have fragrance. The air element, the air layer will have touch sensation.
So all the varieties of the
all varieties will be there. Everything will be there. When earth element is there, it has got all the fragrances, different variety of fragrance. All the what we call in our kitchen godown, all the masalas. Every masala is of different fragrance, na? So everything comes from earth only. So in that way. Both are different, na? Prakriti is Dravya or Pradhana. Mahatattva is Mahatattva. Prakriti is the seed. Mahatattva is the root. Ataparam Sukshmatamam Avyaktam Nirvisheshanam Anadimadya Nidanam Nityam Vanmanasa Param.
Besides this, there is a very subtle universal form.
Subtle invisible form.
Subtle invisible form. Without qualities or form. which has no beginning or end, eternally remains eternally in one form, and which is beyond words and mind.
What was discussed till now is the gross universal form. Mahastulam, Stulam Bhagavato Rupam. The gross universal form made up of 24 elements which manifest in the form of Adhyatma, Adibhuta, and Adideva. Okay. Now, the subtle universal form is mentioned. Sukshmatamam, which cannot be perceived, which is invisible, which has no visible form, which has no qualities to describe. Nirvisheshanam, and which has no beginning, which has no middle, which has no end, and which remains eternally as it is, and which is beyond the description of our words and mind. This is the subtle universal form, which is nothing but the Hiranyagarbha. For a gross object, we have all the attributes. We can tell what is the color, what is the weight, what is the structure, what is the dimension, everything we can tell. Can you describe soul? What is the color of the soul? What is the complexion of the soul? What is the form of the soul? When the soul begins, when the soul ends. You can say the beginning date of this mobile, the end date of this mobile, just like we can say the body, when this body began, when this body will end. We can say everything. Can we say about the soul? All the souls put together known as Hiranyagarbha is the subtle universal form. Having described the gross form, now the subtle form of the universe is described. Beside this gross universal form is subtle universal form which is invisible. When the most subtle is mentioned, it means very subtle. The subtle body of the universe is Sukshmatamam or Hiranyagarbha, a form of Maya, is described by 4 phrases. What are the 4 phrases? One is invisible, Avyakta. Without qualities or form, Nirvisheshanam, which has no beginning or end, Anadi Madhya Nidanam, and remains eternally in one form, Nityam, and which is beyond the words and mind, Vak Manasa Param. These are the 4 attributes of the Sukshma Bhagavato Rupam. Stula Bhagavato Rupam, Sukshma Bhagavato Rupam. Subtle universal form.
This is Brahman only.
Prabhuji, it is not Brahman, it is Hiranyagarbha. We are talking universal form means within the universe. Brahman is outside the universe. Brahman is absolute truth. Brahman is Mahavishnu. Brahman is not separate from Mahavishnu. He is Mahavishnu only. You may say the effulgence, but he is Mahavishnu only. It is Mahavishnu's transcendental body, since it is very huge, that's why it is called Brahman. Mahato Mahiyam is Brahman. Anoraniyam is Paramatma. Madhyastha is Bhagavan. In medium size, which can be pursued by us, is Bhagavan. It is so small we cannot perceive him, is Paramatma. He is so big we can't perceive him, he is Brahman. Both cannot be pursued. Small thing also cannot be pursued, big thing also cannot be pursued. If something is in between, only can pursue. That is Bhagavan. Amoni Bhagavadrupe Maya Tehi Anuvartine. Sorry. Anuvarnite Ube Apina Grunanti Maya Srishte Vipaschita.
The wise do not accept these 2 forms of the Lord described by me, since they are composed of matter.
The people who have intelligence do not accept either gross universal form or subtle universal form, because they only want to know and hear about more and more Bhagavan. They want to know, they want to hear about the Bhagavan only. This is also Stula Bhagavato Rupam, Sukshma Bhagavato Rupam. One is gross universal form, the second one is subtle universal form. And Bhagavan also has another form, Sachidananda Rupa. Instead of hearing about gross universal form and subtle universal form, they want to hear more about Sachidananda Rupa. That is the indication. No, this is for whom? For the Uttama Bhaktas. Uttama Bhaktas, they always meditate upon pastimes. But for the neophytes like me, need to hear this Stula Bhagavata Rupa more and more to understand that I am in Maya. They are already in Yoga Maya. Why do they need to hear about Mahamaya? Are you getting? The Uttama Bhakta already in Yoga Maya. Why do they need to hear about Mahamaya? So they are happy to hear and relish the pastimes of Mahamaya. Does Raghunath Das Goswami ever meditate upon this Maya? All these attributes of Maya? What was his meditation? What was the meditation of Raghunath Das Goswami? Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Jiva Goswami. What were they meditating upon?
They were searching for
Krishna Lila. Krishna, they are meditating on Krishna Lila. Direct Krishna Lila. Not even Vishnu Lila. Not even Rama Lila. Does they ever? Exclusive Krishna Lila. That too, not even Dwaraka Lila, not even Madhura Lila. Exclusive Vrindavan Lila. So why do they need to hear about this Tula, Sukshma, universal form? If I start saying that I am also meditating on Sukshma Lila, I'll be stamped as Sajiya. This is for me, not for them. Sukadeva Goswami condemned these two forms which are imposed on the form of the Lord for the purpose of worship. Dual case indicates the oneness of the gross and subtle forms of the universe and its coverings. The wise do not accept these two forms as the object of attainment. That the Uttama Bhakta ever worships gross universe and subtle universe, thinking that is the ultimate destiny, but only at the forms of worship, only as forms for worship at the beginning stage, since they are made of Maya. Even the very subtle form, the cause of others, is also material. The Hiranyagarbha, here Hiranyagarbha is the living unit in the material world, who is identified with the material body. He is also considered as material, because he is not liberated soul. He is still conditioned soul. That is also not object of meditation. Those who are wise means the pure devotees, who do not accept these forms even at the first stage. They accept the forms of Rama, Krishna, and Nrsimha made of Shuddha Sattva in the stages of sadhana and perfection. Okay? The wise do not accept both these forms of the Lord as they are composed of matter. But they need to be known for neophytes who are deeply submerged in Maya, deeply immersed in Maya. To understand that we are immersed in Maya, we need to know what they are. Without understanding what Maya is, we can never understand we are in Maya. Simple, how to understand we are in Maya? Are we body conscious or soul conscious? If we are body conscious, we are in Maya. If we are in soul conscious, we are out of body, out of Maya. Simple. One single parameter. Savacha Vachakataya Bhagavan Brahma Rupa Druk Nama Rupa Kriya Datte Sakarma Karma Kappara.
Vishnu, Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, do not performing material actions by accepting the form of Brahma, performed actions. He created the names, forms, and activities for the living entities, and as well created the names suitable for each type of the body on its side.
After describing the universal form and the activities of the Purusha avatars, now Brahma is briefly touching upon the activities of the Guna avatars. Brief information about the three Guna avatars which appear from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Shirodakshaya Vishnu appears from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Brahma appears on the lotus. Lord Shiva appears on the forehead of Brahma. So these three are Guna avatars. Mahavishnu, who is the Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, though not performing material actions, by accepting the forms of Brahma, performed actions, he created the names, forms, activities for the living entities, and as well created the names suitable for each type of body and its activities. Mahavishnu, who expanded himself as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, entered into the universe, who manifested the universal form in the form of the lotus and Hiranyagarbha and other things. Then he appeared in the form of Brahma. For what purpose? In order to create names. What names? Okay, this person is supposed to be called as Rishi. This person is Devata. This person is human being. This person is animal. This person is bird. This person is aquatic. This is reptile. This is plant. And forms. The Devatas are supposed to be like this. The Gandharvas are like this. Human beings like this. Plants like this. Trees and animals like this. And activities. Different people will have different activities. And the name, form, activity, all three are inconsistent with each other. They cannot be incoherent. All three should be coherent. The human being performs human activities only. The human being cannot perform animal activities. So like that. The human being should have a particular set of activities and he perform those activities in a particular set of body, which has a form, name, etc. These are all properly done by Lord Brahma. Nama Rupa Kriya Datte Vachya Vachakataya. Now Sri Sukadeva Goswami describes the secondary creation and maintenance and the destruction of the individual bodies. This continues till verse number 44. The Purusha who manifests Mahatattva, the Supreme Lord, though without mental actions, accept the form of Brahma, taking up activities, creating forms. What kind of activities? He creates forms. He creates activities suitable to be named, as well as names which suitably designate them for the individual jivas existing in the universe. He created a human form, and that human is called as a Brahmana. And the Brahmana will be given activities such as reading the Vedas and teaching the Vedas, etc. Prabhuji, can I call you after half an hour? Currently, I'm in a class. No, not to say, but just in the class. About to complete the class. Around 5 o'clock, I'll call you. Okay. Okay. No issue. Accepting the form of Brahma, taking up the activities, created the forms, activities suitable to be named, as well as the names which suitable designate them for the individual jivas existing in the universe. He created a human form. He is called as human being, and he is designated as Brahmana because he was given a set of responsibilities in the form of reading the Vedas, studying the Vedas, teaching the Vedas, performing yajna, engaging others' performance of yajna, giving charities, taking charities. It's like that. Lord, accepting the form of Brahma, created names, forms, and activities of the jivas, and also created names for each of the body. So now there is a summary of what all the different names, what are the different forms, and what are the different associated activities are created by Brahma. There is a list is given. Here is the translation.
Brahma created the Prajapatis.
Loud.
The Manus, the Devatas, the Sages, the Pitris, the Siddhas, Chanaras, Gandharvas, Vidhadharas, Asuras, Guyakas, guardians of Kuvera, Kinnaras, Apsaras, Nagas, Sarpas, Kimpurushas, Ugaras, Matris, Rakshasas, Pishachas, Pretas, Bhutas, Vinayakas, Kusmandas, Unmandas, Vetalas, Yatudhanas, Grahas, birds, wild and domestic animals, trees, mountains, and reptiles, as well various living beings of 2 types, 4 types, and 3 types.
Yeah, all these different variety of species have been created. Some of the names you must have been seeing first time. Many. They are all created by Brahma. These forms are now listed. The list is the object of the verb from the previous sentence. O king, Brahma created Prajapatis. The created beings with 2 types of bodies are non-moving and moving bodies. Here it is said, na? At the end, in summary, it said that Lord Brahma created various living beings of 2 types, Sthira and Jangama, Chara and Achara. Okay. He also created other forms. He created the bodies of 4 forms. What are the 4 forms? Those born from the womb, Jarayuja. Those born from the eggs, Andaja. The mammals and human beings are born from the womb. The great sages, the devatas, the mammals, and the human being, they are all born from the womb. They are called Jarayuja. The birds and reptiles are born from the eggs. They are called andaja. And some insects are born from the perspiration, and they are called swedaja. And some of the beings are sprout from the seeds. They are like udbija. The plants or trees are born from the seeds. So all the living entities can be of these four categories: Sthirachara and Jarayuja, Andaja, Swedaja, and Udbija. And the three forms are those dwelling in the water, on land, in the air. At least with respect to our experience, we have these three categories of living entities. The aquatics live in the water. The birds live in the air. Okay. And then the mammals and the human beings live in the land. Sometimes there are some animals may be combination. Some reptiles may be in the water also, land also. Some birds may be in the water and the air also. Some birds may be land and air also. Huh? Under the land also, on the land also, both are same. Land only, na? Inside the land or the surface of the land only, na?
Is there any information? Is there any information regarding how the other, for example, heavenly planets, how they are born?
महाभारत पढ़ा क्या? पढ़ो. आपका उम्र कितना है? 30 बार कम से कम पढ़ना चाहिए अभी तक महाभारत.
जो ऐसा हुआ नहीं तो क्या करेंगे?
अभी कम से कम अभी तो चालू करो. वही प्रॉब्लम है ना. That's why we are so distant. That's why we get all these small questions now. महाभारत रामायण शुरू से सुना और पढ़ा हो तो ये डाउट्स नहीं आता था. ये सब नाम पहले बार नहीं, आप अभी तक कई बार सुन चुका होगा. कुछ नहीं, पूरा समझ में आता है. महाभारत और रामायण पूरा पढ़ाई करेगा तो अच्छे से, शुरू से एंड तक अच्छे से सुनेगा तो, पढ़ाई करेगा तो. ओके 10 साल छोड़ो, 10 साल तक वी डोंट नो हाउ टू रीड एंड ऑल. 10 साल के बाद तो पढ़ सकते हैं ना. तब तक 5 क्लास 6 स्टडी हो जाते हैं.
ये भी एनवायरनमेंट नहीं था नहीं.
हाँ वही प्रॉब्लम है ना, वही प्रॉब्लम है. मोबाइल में कितना ऐप्स है? व्हाट्सएप, फेसबुक, ट्विटर, सबको बारे में पता है ना. मेल, बट इसके बारे में पता नहीं. इसके ऊपर इच्छा नहीं था, इंटरेस्ट नहीं था. इसके ऊपर इंटरेस्ट था. इसको मोबाइल आते आते मार्केट में समझने के लिए बहुत इतना प्रयास किया होगा सब. फर्स्ट मोबाइल व्हेन इट केम in during my BTech, one of my classmates brought the mobile first time, maybe in 2003 or something like that. First time we saw the mobile in the college. Everyone is after him. Hey, let me touch, let me see, like that. So curiosity, so much curiosity. That is button phone. Later on smartphone came. Huh? Huh?
Curious.
But the curiosity should have been there in the small. Then open the Mahabharata. Better late than never. And read it. You'll understand everything.
Mahabharata is very big project.
It's not as big as that a human being cannot read. उतना बड़ा है क्या?
Who are actually Vinayakas?
Bhuta, Preta, Pichasha, Vinayaka, Kushmanda, Unmada, they are all different category of ghostly beings. Vinayakas are a different category of ghostly beings.
And Uragas and Matras.
Uragas are snakes. Uraga means snakes, yeah.
And the Matras?
Matras are also maybe Naga, Sarpas, the Uragas, they are all snakes. Matras, I don't know what are they. Maybe like Pitrus, there are some kind of people called Matras also. Naito, Sarpas, so Nagas, Sarpas, Kimpurushas, Uragas, Matras, Rakshasas, Pishashas. So the Matras also could be one category of these ghostly beings only. So that way you can take.
And Grihas?
Grihas nahi baba, Grahas, Navagrahas. Gruha kahan se aa gaye? If A is not there, then it becomes Gruha. Home. A is there, it is Graha, planets. आपको स्कूल को भेजना पड़ेगा. Kushala Kushala Mitra Karmanam Gatayastvima Sattvam Rajastama iti Tisra Suranru Naraka Tatrapi Ekaika Sorajan Vidyante Gatayastrida Yadaikaikataro Nyabhyam Swabhava Upahanyate.
The results of action are good, bad, and mixed. Because of the gunas of sattva, rajas, and tamas, men become devatas, humans, and inhabitants of earth. O king, these three types of beings are again divided into three, when each nature is mixed with the other two gunas.
So, in the previous verse, the names and the forms are described. Now, in this verse, the activities are described in summary. There are activities of three categories. Activities in the mode of goodness, in the mode of passion, in the mode of ignorance. Urdhvam Gachanti Sattva. Those people who perform activities in the mode of goodness, they become devatas in the next life, are heavenly beings. Those who perform activities in the mode of passion, they remain as human beings. Those who perform activities in the mode of ignorance, they go to Naraka. That is what is happened. So this is about activities. Activities in general three categories, but those three categories will lead to this kind of destination, like devatas, humans, and Naraka, Loka, Vasis. Oh king, okay. How did he create these beings? The results of actions are three. Those giving good results, Kushala. Those giving suffering, Akushala. And those giving mixed results, Mishra. This indicates that the jivas attain these jivas attain three results according to their individual actions. There is no fault in the creator. This is the answer to the question asked by Parikshit Maharaj. O Brahmana, speak about the progress of time with large and small divisions and number and any and types of destinations achieved by action. Lord did not create Naraka and Swarga. Our activities have created Swarga and Naraka for us. We cannot blame the Lord. Our Lord is so cruel. He has created hell to punish us very severely. No. We only chose to perform that activity. That activity created the Naraka for us. We only chose to perform piety. That piety created us Swarga. Lord is not cruel. We are the cause. The cause of these results is gunas. The result of sattva is devata body. The result of rajas is the human body. The result of tamas is hellish existence. The three results are subdivided into three each to make 9 results. Each of the three is mixed with each of the other two. Thus, a human with rajas. Okay. Now, we have three gunas. Sattva, rajas, and tamas. Sattva, devatas. Rajas, human beings. Tamas, hell. Okay, now take the human beings. The human beings who are primarily in mode of passion. And the first column, rajas. In the second column, there is sattva, rajas, and tamas. Human beings primarily having rajoguna, but secondarily has sattva-guna. Then it's called Brahmana. Primarily having rajoguna, secondarily having rajoguna is called Kshatriya. And secondarily has rajoguna, little sattva-guna is called Kshatriya. And the human beings who has mode of passion primarily and secondarily has mode of passion plus a little bit ignorance is called Vaishya. And secondarily has mode of ignorance is called Shudra. So like that. With the secondary characteristic, they will be called differently. Thus, a human with rajas by a mixture with a greater amount of sattva becomes a brahmana, and by a mixture with a greater amount of tamas becomes a shudra. Primary level passion, secondary level sattva is there, is called as brahmana. Tamas is there, is called shudra. Again, secondary level rajas is there. Rajas plus sattva, kshatriya. Rajas plus tamas, vaishya. So we have 4 categories. So the in between two people have two categories. So a thoda, like that.
Actually has a different calculation.
They don't get into all the details. In general, there are 3 gunas. Only take 3 gunas. The first level 3 gunas. The second level, if you are 3 gunas, sattva, sattva, rajas, tama. Rajas, sattva, rajas, tama. Tama, rajas, sattva, rajas, tama. And then third level again, for everything you can add 3 gunas. So initial first level 3 category 3, second level 3 into 3 9, third level 9 into 3 9 into 3, then fourth level 27 into 3. Again you keep adding the same 3 gunas only. उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं, 3 gunas only. But with so many permutations and combinations, you get different variety of. Among the devatas, there are main devatas, there are lesser devatas, Gandharvas, Kinnavas, Kimpurusha, etc. Among them also there is gradation. Just like among the human beings, there is gradation. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And within Brahmana also there are again gradation. Some Brahmanas who are Vaishnavas who are on the pure goodness platform. Some Brahmanas who know about Brahman, they are goodness platform. Some Brahmanas who only know about how to perform rituals, then the passionate platform, Vipra. Some Brahmanas who are only interested to get remuneration to fill the belly, they are in the mode of ignorance. In the third level. Are you getting? So like that.
What is the reference for that those who are actually in the Brahman platform are separate?
Brahma Janatit Brahmana. Those who are born in the Brahmana family, but those who understand what is the true nature of Brahman, they are in the mode of goodness. Huh? If they are liberated, they are in the Shuddhatva. Knowing is something different from the realizing. When they realize, they are liberated. When they know, they know. They are still in the mode of goodness only. We also know. We are also hearing about Krishna. But are we in Shuddhatva or what? Did we realize? I mean to say knowing. Don't be humble. Whether in Sattva didn't matter. The knowing and realizing from the categorization. If you want to know more details about this species, you can refer to 2643-46. There some details are mentioned. In that slides I have given who are they, who some names of the people are mentioned in that section. Saye Vedam Jagaddata Bhagavan Dharma Rupadruk Pushnati Stapayan Vishwam Tiryan Nara Suradibi.
The maintainer of the universe, Bhagwan, accepting the form of Vishnu, establishing this universe, maintains it with the animals, men, human beings expressing their own nature.
Lord Brahma created the names, created the forms, created the activities. Bas unka seva ho gaya. Now Kshirodaksha Vishnu will maintain them with their name, form and activities for the throughout the day of Brahma. Dharma here means Lord Vishnu. From Dharma, there is preservation of the universe, and from lack of Dharma, there is destruction. The creation is now endowed with Dharma and Adharma. The birds and beasts protect themselves, their offspring, friends, and family by their nature. The Lord has provided facilities in such a way that all the species can work for their preservation on their own. Swatantra. Now, Rudra. Tata Kalagni Rudratma Yes Rishtam Idam Atmana Sanniyachati Kalena Gananikam Ivanila.
When the Lord, Kalagni Rudra, destroys this universe, which he alone created, by time energy, just as the wind destroys a mass of clouds.
Then Garbhodaksha Vishnu becoming Kalagni Rudra will destroy the entire universe which he created in the form of Brahma, which he maintained in the form of Kshirodaksha Vishnu. He will destroy in the form of Rudra.
Which he alone created, he is referring to Rudra.
Garbhodaksha Vishnu. The universal form manifests from whom? He means Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And Garbhodaksha Vishnu appeared from whom? So then he means Karmadaksha Vishnu. Ittam bhavena katito Bhagavan Bhagavattama Nittam bhavena hi param drashtum arhanti suraya.
The great transcendentalists thus describe the activities of the personality of God, but the pure devotees desire to see more glorious things in transcendence beyond this consciousness.
Some devotees describe these different forms, the activities of the Purusha Avatara, the activities of the Guna Avatara in relation to the material world. But the Uttama Bhaktas, they only desire to hear and discuss about the pastimes of the Leela Avataras. Not even Leela Avataras, the Lord's activities in the spiritual world, exclusive pastimes of the Lord. Not even in relation to the pastimes of the killing the demons. Lord Rama comes here and kills the demons. That also they don't want to hear. They want to hear Lord Rama's dealings with the devotees. So like that. That exclusive. The Lord is described as the creator in such statements as Tasmadva etasmin Atman Akasha Sambhuta. The form of the Lord then arose. He desired, may I become many, may I expand in and I growth. So something like that. Some pure devotees, however, do not see the Lord only as the creator of the universe, but also as the person who enjoys activities with his intimate devotees in his spiritual abode, such as Vaikuntha. While some devotees appreciate the Supreme Lord in his role as the creator, greater devotees appreciate him not just as the creator, but also as one who enjoys the spiritual pastimes. So it's like that. So here, the other philosophers, they talk about Lord in the form of creator, but they say that beyond creation there is Brahman. So Brahman is the ultimate truth. Like that. But the pure devotee, they say beyond Brahman there is Vaikuntha. That is ultimate truth, where Lord performs unlimited activities. So like that. That's what the gradation. Nasya karmani janmadau parasyanuvidiyate kartrutva pratisedartam mayayaropitam hitat.
Lord does not carry out the activities of creation, maintenance, and destruction of the universe directly. His direct involvement is denied everywhere in the scriptures. The activities performed by Maya are ascribed to him.
His final activity. So it is said that Lord is the creator. Some people see the Lord as creator, while some devotees appraise the Supreme Lord as his role as the creator. But greater devotees only meditate on the Lord's pastime. They say that Lord has nothing to do with creation. But some say Lord is the creator. The others say Lord is not the creator. How? Like this. This is actually not the activity of the Lord. Creation is not the activity of the Lord. In creating, maintaining, and destroying the universe, the Supreme Lord is not the actual doer. Then who does? Then why is Lord called as the creator? It is described everywhere in the scripture that he is not the doer. Akartur. Because the creation, maintenance, and destruction carried out by Maya, the external energy, though through the actions of the gunas, is ascribed to the Lord. What Bhagavan does? Mahavishnu only glance upon Prakriti. It is Prakriti only doing all the other things. And after glancing upon Prakriti, Mahavishnu does not do anything with the Prakriti. Even when he becomes Garbhodaksha Vishnu, still in Yoga Nidra. Even when he becomes Kshurodaksha Vishnu, he's still in? No, he's not doing anything. So like that. Though it is done by me, since I am the Supreme Lord, it is not actually done by me in my Swarupa. That is the meaning. Though everything is put into action by my glance, okay, but that is not the activity of my Swarupa. My glance itself performs all the other activities, but in my Swarupa, in my own home, I perform activities with my devotees. That they are actually my activities. This is not my main activity. And this activity is not done by myself. It is done by one of my Amsha. And that too, he is not doing everything. He is doing it through his Kala Shakti. So like that. Kala Shakti and Maya Shakti. Huh? No. This is any Vaishnavas. This is the understanding of devotees. Every Sampradaya, same thing.
They actually see the Lord with respect to the creation aspect.
Is there, but still they also say he is a creator, but they always want to serve the Lord in Vaikuntha. That aspect is still there. Lord is eternally resides in the Vaikuntha, and there is person services going on to the Lord in Vaikuntha. That's so bhakti is performed to go to Vaikuntha. The Shruti says, Nishkalam, Nishkriyam, Shantam, Niravadyam, Niranjanam. The Lord is without divisions, Nishkalam. The Lord is without action, Nishkriyam. The Lord is undisturbed, Shantam. The Lord is without fault, Niravadyam. The Lord is without contamination, Niranjanam. This is from Shivatata Upanishad 6:19. Lord does not directly carry out the activities of creation, maintenance, and destruction. The activities performed by Maya are ascribed to Supreme Lord. Ayam tu Brahmana kalpa avikalpa udahrata vidhi sadharano yatra sarga prakrita vaikrita.
The life of Brahma has divisions of days. The usual procedure is that the Visarga creation takes place at the beginning of the life of Brahma, and Visarga creation takes place at the beginning of the day of Brahma.
So in this chapter, we have seen Sarga, summary of Sarga, the manifestation of the universe and the universal form, that is Sarga, in the initial section from verse number 11 to 35, and 36 to 44 are till the previous verse. That Visarga, what the activities of the Gunavataras, specifically Brahmas and Lord Vishnu's and Lord Shiva, they are all part of the Visarga. So here summary is telling that. So what is created by Mahavishnu is called Sarga. What is done by Brahma, Shivaksha, Vishnu and Brahma, Rudra is called as Visarga. So that's how it is mentioned. Usually the Sarga takes place at the beginning of the life of Brahma. Before the birth of Brahma, Sarga takes place once only. But Visarga creation takes place at the beginning of the day of Brahma. What Brahma does early in the morning, every day he does. And throughout the day, Lord Vishnu maintains. At the evening, at the end of the day, Lord Shiva destroys. That is the daily routine activity. This verse sums up the topic. The lifespan relative to Brahma, 100 years, is divided into different days of Brahma. At the beginning of the Mahakalpa, the life of Brahma, the creation of Mahatattva and other elements takes place. That is called Sarga. In the day of Brahma, the Visarga creation of the bodies takes place with Nama, Rupa, Kriya. This is the usual procedure in all the Mahakalpas and days of Brahma. Lord Brahma is meant to live for 100 years. And in every year, there are 360 days. In every day, there is a daytime and nighttime. And during the daytime, early in the morning, Brahma creates. Throughout the day, Vishnu maintains. And in the evening, before beginning the night, Lord Shiva destroys. These are the routine activities. This answers in summary the another question asked by Parishit Maharaj. Speak of the kalpas and their subdivisions, how time is perceived in the past, present and future, and the lifespan of the humans, devatas and pitrus. A brief summary outline of that is mentioned here. More details will come in 3:11, 3rd canto 11th chapter. Sarga happens at the beginning of Brahma's life and Visarga happens at the beginning of every day of Brahma. Parinaamacha kalasya kalpa lakshana vigraham yata purastad vyakyase padnam kalpam atoshrunu.
I will explain later the measurement of time, which takes the form of kalpas. Now hear from me about the Padma kalpa.
So, my dear Parishit Maharaj, don't worry. So, the further time divisions, I have told you about Mahakalpa. Mahakalpa means 100 years of Brahma. And Kalpa means 1 day of Brahma. And within Kalpa, the subdivisions, I will explain you in 3:11 later on. But before that, I will tell you what happened in Padma Kalpa. Padma Kalpa means today. In the 9th chapter, Sukadeva Goswami spoke about what happened in the first day of Brahma's appearance. That is Brahma Kalpa. So like that, Brahma has 100 years. Out of 150 years already passed. Now today, 51st year, first month, first day is going on. So what happened today, I will explain you. That subject matter will start in the 3rd canto. How time is perceived, which is part of question, will be answered in detail later in 3rd canto. The measurement of time as a form described in terms of kalpas. Without the qualities of kalpa and other subdivisions, one cannot be measured. Time cannot be measured. That will be described later in the 3rd canto. The Padma Kalpa is included in the first half of Brahma's life. The list of kalpas are days of Brahma's mouth. So Brahma's month is measured in the Skanda Purana. The Padma Kalpa is included in the first half of Brahma's life. So there are in the later on third canto 8th chapter there is a mention about Padmakalpa. Padmakalpa is a general name. It is not a specific name, which can be given to the day of Brahma wherever the lotus comes out of his navel. Indirectly says that lotus may not come every day, but whenever lotus comes, that day can be called as Padmakalpa. Though every day a Brahma has got a different name, but in whichever day the lotus comes out of his navel, that is called Padmakalpa.
Lotus comes from Brahma's mind.
गर्भदक्षा विष्णु
हर बार वैसे लोटस पे बॉर्न नहीं होता है।
ऐसा करके बताया आचार्य, क्या हुआ कैसे हो पता नहीं, उनको क्या सब डिटेल्स पता नहीं ना। आज का दिन लोटस आया, and they say the very first day also lotus came, and yesterday also lotus came, today also lotus came, and second day also lotus came. The very first day, the very second day, and the last day of the 50th year, and the first day of the 51st year, all these 4 days the lotus came. So these 4 days can be called as Padmakalpas. The very first day, the second day, the last day of the 50th year, that is yesterday, and today, the first day of the 51st year. In all these 4 days, lotus came. So, आपका इच्छा आप जाने तो जाओ. I will few more verses I will complete and then close.
How much time for the 10 minutes?
The first day of the month of Brahma is called Shweta Kalpa. Second day is Nilalavita Kalpa. Third day is Vamadeva. Fourth is called Ganta Karna, Gathantara. Fifth is Raurava. Sixth is Prana. Seventh is Bruhat. Eighth is Kandarpa. Ninth is Savya. 10th is Ishana. 11th is Dhyana. 12th is Sharashrava. 13th is Udana. 14th is Garuda. 15th is Kaurma or Kurma. From Kurma it comes Kaurma. And this is full moon day. This is Paurnami, 15th day. The 16th is Narasimha. 17th is Samadhi. 18th is Agneya. 19th is Vishnuja. 20th is Sura. 21st is Soma. 22nd is Bhavana. 23rd is Supumana. 24th is Vaikunta. 25th is Archisha. 26th is Valli. And 27th is Vairaja. 28th is Gauri. 29th is Maheshwara. 29th is Maheshwara. In this Kalpa, Shiva destroys Tripurasura. That's why it is called Maheshwara Kalpa. The last day of the month is called Pitru Kalpa. This is the dark moon or Brahma's month. Dark moon of the Brahma's month. This is Amavasya. Pitru Kalpa is basically called as in correlation to Amavasya. So these Kalpas are known as the days of Brahma and have existed in the past, will exist in the future. The present Kalpa is the Varaha Kalpa. So the very first day is Shweta Kalpa. It is all generally called Shweta Kalpa, but Ashka Din, Lord Varaha appeared in the white form. That's why it is called Shweta Varaha Kalpa. The present Kalpa is the Varaha Kalpa, the first day of the first month in the second half of Brahma's life. Shweta refers to the Shweta Varaha Kalpa. This is also the present Varaha Kalpa. The first day after Brahma is born called as Brahma Kalpa. The last day of the month of Brahma is called Pitru Kalpa, which is at the end of the first half of Brahma's life is also called Padma Kalpa, since the planets take the shape of a lotus during that day. And the very first day, which is called Brahma Kalpa, also lotus appeared. And the last day of the 50th year, which is called Pitru Kalpa, also the planets appeared in the form of a lotus. That's why it is called Padma Kalpa. And today also is called Padma Kalpa. Aaj ka din bhi, all the planets appeared from lotus. So like that. And later on, the article says that the second day also called as Padma Kalpa. Third canto 8th chapter mein aate more details. When you come there, you will understand. Then Shaunaka Uvacha. Read the translation.
Shaunaka said, O Sutta, you have told us that Vidura, the best of the devotees, went on pilgrimage around the world, giving up friends who are difficult to give up. Discussion of the soul took place between Vidura and Maitreya. Knowledgeable Maitreya, implored by Vidura, explained the highest truth. O excellent sage, please tell us all of that and the actions of Vidura.
Now they have heard everything. Sarga, Visarga, summary, so thoda they want to have some detour. So when Sukadeva Goswami said that now I will speak to you about Padma Kalpa. So, my dear sir, wait. We want to hear about Padmakalpa, but sometime before that, you spoke something long back. So the Tora connection miss. Okay, can you speak about that also? What was that? You told us about Vidura, the best of the devotees.
This is the
Bhagavata
question of
Uttama.
Shaunaka to Suta Goswami,
Shaunaka Sutta Goswami.
but not by Parikshit to Sukadeva Goswami.
That you will understand in the third canto. Whether Parikshit also asked a question or not, you will understand third canto. This is the end of the second canto. Your question will be answered in third canto. So you have told us that Vidura, who is the best of the devotees, Bhagavat Uttama, went on pilgrimage around the world, giving up friends and family members, which is very difficult to give up. But in his pilgrimage, first he met Uddhava, then he met Maitreya. So when he met Maitreya, he had a nice conversation with Maitreya. What was that about? Samvada Adhyatma Samsrita. The discussion about Atma. How Atma gets delivered from Samsruti. Samsruti means samsara. You told that Vidura heard from Maitreya about the deliverance of the Jiva from the samsara. Took place between Vidura and Maitreya. Knowledgeable Maitreya, implored by Vidura, explained the highest truth. O excellent sage, please tell all of that and the actions of Vidura. Being eager to hear other topics, the proposed topic of the Padmakalpa gets delayed by the question of Shaunaka. We are told us, having learned about, this is the verse from the first canto, 113.1. Having learned about Lord Krishna, the goal of the Jiva, from Maitreya while on pilgrimage, Vidura came to Hastinapura with a desire to teach that to his elder brother Dhritarashtra. Vidura's Tirtha Yatrayam Maitreyad Atmano Gatim. He understood about Atma Gati. Atmaka Gati in the material world, where all it wanders, if it does not take Bhakti seriously. If it takes Bhakti seriously, where it will go? Jnatva, having understood that, Agad Astinapuram Tvaya Apta Vivistita. He had come back to Hastinapur in order to speak whatever he had learned to his relatives, specifically Dhritarashtra. Bhagavan means he who is full of knowledge. Kshatta is Vidura, Kausharava is Maitreya. Suta Uvacha Rajna Parikshita Prushto Yada Vochan Mahamuni Tadvo Bidhasye Shrunuta Rajna Prashnanusarata.
Suta said, I will explain to you what the great sage Sukadeva Goswami spoke in response to King Parikshit. When asked by Parikshit, please listen.
So my dear sages of Naimisharanya, don't worry. I'll explain everything what you have asked. Even Sukadeva Goswami also spoke about the same thing in response to the inquiry asked by Parikshit Maharaj. The meaning is this. What you have asked, the king also asked Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami spoke in answer to the question of Parikshit Maharaj previously about the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. I will relate that to you. Hare Krishna. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Bhaktavrinda ki jai. Second canto Bhagavatam ki jai, Bhaktagan ki jai.